You're watching Fox Sports San Diego.
Well, it may be raining back in San Diego. The weather is clear enough that it appears we'll open this first spring training game here on Fox Sports San Diego from the Valley of the Sun, just northwest of downtown Phoenix. It'll be the Kansas City Royals and the San Diego Padres here at the Peoria Complex Stadium. St. Patrick's Day, and part Irish is my partner Mark Grant, the old right-hander, and a lot of new faces. You need a program and know the numbers because there are a lot of new faces. These old faces, thank goodness, on the new good ship Fox Sports San Diego off sailing away. And here's some of the names to know.
A lot of notables, some veterans, some young players as well. When you look at winning championships, pitching and defense, I want to focus on Edinson Volquez, the right-hander veteran guy out of Cincinnati in the Matt Latos deal, coming off some injuries, but in 2008 he won 17 games. This guy, Dick, is a difference maker for the San Diego Padres to try to round out their rotation. Pitching at Petco Park can work to his advantage as well, because pitching in the not-so-great American ballpark in Cincinnati, the ball has a tendency to fly. So hopefully Darren Balsley, great pitching coach, Petco Park, works to the advantage of the pitchers. He can flourish in San Diego.
He could be the difference maker this year. Last year at this time, Corey Lupke was fighting to make the 25-man roster, went to the bullpen, emerged from the bullpen as one of the top starting pitchers in the National League, allowing a batting average of .209 against and more strikeouts than innings pitched. He gets the start tonight. It's been a hot spring for Lupke. Fox Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball. Brought to you by Acura. Acura Advance. And windy conditions here in the desert, 25 miles an hour. It's Ned Yost, the skipper of the Kansas City Royals in his third year, and he wears number 3 in tribute to his friend Dale Earnhardt. Here's his starting lineup. It features a lot of young talent. It's the youngest 40-man roster in all of baseball. Gordon, Kane, Hosmer, and Butler, 3 of the 4 #1 picks of the Royals. Francoeur, the veteran outfielder. Moustakas, another first-round pick. Betancourt, Pena and Escobar. Escobar with a new 4-year contract that he signed earlier this week. And on the mound for the Padres, left-hander Corey Lupke. Lupke at age 27, late bloomer from Maria Stein, Ohio, north of Dayton and Ohio State, makes his home in Columbus. He was 5-8 as a starter, 6-10 overall last year. 139 innings and only 105 base hits allowed. And we're underway. First pitch is in there for a strike to Alex Gordon.
Yeah, this is a young team, as you mentioned, Dick, and they're trying to get back to the class of royalty, like in the late 70s, early 80s of this Royals ball club.
Gordon was 10th in the American League, hitting .303 last year. He was the College Player of the Year at the University of Nebraska 6 years ago and a #1 pick of the Royals. Gold Glover as well last year in left field. Now Lupke takes care of the first batter tonight on 3 pitches.
That's the power fastball we were talking about in the pregame show. Corey Lupke possesses, going right after Gordon. Sure, it's spring training. The hitter's going to see a lot of fastballs. And Corey will flip up all of his pitches tonight. The 2-seamer, the 4-seamer, the changeup. He throws a curveball and a slider as well.
Told me that he's going to work hard on using the changeup more. He wants to keep hitters off balance through too many pitches. He thought changeup might get him some easy outs. First pitch to Lorenzo Cain, the center fielder. Another strike. Cain, only 169 major league at bats. Came over to Kansas City from Milwaukee, and he drives one sharply down the left field line into the corner. Cain on his horse. Digging it out of the corner is Guzman, and Cain with a stand-up double. And that is the trademark of this Kansas City team. They're a doubling outfit. Last year, all 3 outfielders had more than 40 doubles. Has that ever happened in modern baseball? And Cain looks like he's going to join the club.
And this is a pitch from Corey Lupke. It looks like it's up in the zone. Corey's going to concentrate on keeping the ball down, but in between the bag and Chase Headley. And anytime ball rattles around in the corner like that, Lorenzo Cain is a guy who can possibly take 3, but it's spring training, his 6th of the spring.
Brings up Eric Hosmer, another #1 draft pick of these Royals. He was 3rd in the American League Rookie of the Year balloting last season when he hit .293 and a little pickoff action as Perino slips in behind the runner Cain.
Yeah, I know that's something they work on quite diligently in spring training, not only covering first base, but pickoffs at all the bases. If you can get an extra out without pitching to the hitter and get a guy on base to be called out, that's an advantage.
Hosmer's had a good spring. 12 RBIs. That's among the leaders in all of spring training baseball. Just 22 years of age from Plantation, Florida. There are his rookie numbers of a year ago. To the right side, and second baseman Perino. Moving on to third is Gordon. Here's a look at the defense for the Padres tonight. In the outfield, it's Guzman, Maben, and Venable left to right. Around the horn, Headley at third, Perino at short, Galvez, he's one of the young Dominican players, and Yonder Alonso at first base. Lupke and Baker the battery.
Cameron Maben in center field, better be on his horse. Those flags are blown straight out to center field. Anything up in the air, they're going to have to turn on the afterburners to cover those alleys tonight. There they are.
Weather's coming in from the west. They say it shouldn't rain till around midnight tonight here in Arizona. Cleanup hitter Billy Butler, the designated hitter, and an interesting element in the game tonight. American League teams use the DH in spring training when they're hosting. Normally they don't in a National League game, but Bud Black's going to use his pitcher. Only 8 regulars, and Kansas City 9 against 8 have 9 regular players in there as Butler hits cleanup on another #1 draft pick on this Royal squad. You know, they're picked by many of the experts to finish second behind Detroit in the American League Central this year.
They've got a good young roster. And quite frankly, a young manager in Ned Yost, who's got some managerial experience with the Milwaukee Brewers. Corey Lupke tonight going to try to get 4 innings out of the 27-year-old left-hander.
Butler led the team in RBIs last year with 95, a chance to give Kansas City the early lead here with 2 outs. Cain at third. Product of Jacksonville, Florida. 25, he lives in Scottsdale in the offseason.
You know, Dick, you mentioned that 8 against 9 tonight, that being the Padres having Corey Lupke hit. Well, Buddy said quite frankly, hey, you know what, during the season, Corey Lupke's going to have to hone his hitting skills. I want our pitchers to get as many at-bats during spring training as they can. To get comfortable, they're going to have to get bunts down. They're going to have to try to hit behind the runner. That's exactly why Corey Lupke is hitting 9th tonight.
We'll hear from Buddy Black down in the dugout during the course of the game tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Got him. Couple of strikeouts for Lupke in the first. Lorenzo Cain stranded at third after a 1-out double. Padres coming up, bottom of the first. Maven, Venable, and Headley.
I would love.
Come up in the bottom of the first inning, and here's a look at Bud Black's starting lineup tonight as the skipper now in his 6th season at the helm. The Dean with Maben leading off. Venable will hit second. Headley bats third. Jesus Guzman, who was the top hitter for the Padres a year ago, bats clean. Yonder Alonso at first. John Baker starts behind the plate. Nick Hundley still bothered by a sore side. He's missing his 3rd game in a row. Jonathan Galvez, the youngster from the Dominican, at second. Perino switch hitting shortstop. And Lupke, not a bad hitter. He hit .212 last year. Maben swinging on that first pitch and fouls it out of play. Cameron was talking to himself earlier in the spring. He started out 0 for 12, but he's gone 6 for the last 12 to raise his average. There are his numbers from a year ago.
So it seems like he's getting that timing down. That is what Mark Sweeney was talking about in the pregame show regarding that leg kick from Cameron Maben.
Swings and drives this one high to right center. Playable. Francoeur there to make the play. And the Royal defense reads this way tonight. This is their starting lineup for opening day. Moustakas, Escobar, Betancourt, and Hosmer around the infield with Alex Gordon in left, Crane in center, and Francoeur the right fielder. Brian Pena, it's pronounced Brian, and Bruce Chen on the mound, the veteran right-hander. And there's a real sore spot for the Kansas City Royals, and that's behind the plate. We'll get into that. As the veteran Chen is 34 years of age. This is his 10th major league season. Works on Will Venable. Venable, under the tutelage of new batting coach Phil Plantier, has adjusted his swing. He had the barrel of the bat at 11 o'clock last year. Check that, I'm sorry. He had it at 1 o'clock last year, cocked back. Now he's laying it back more.
Hey, you're forgiven because changing the clocks was last week, but so we'll give you a mulligan on that. But the one thing that I was really impressed with was that Phil Plantier and Alonzo Powell, working with Will Venable during the offseason, they had video. They broke it all down before spring training ever started.
Drives it to left center field. Kane has to play it on a hop. And Venable has the first Padre hit tonight. Had a good spring, 8 for 25 coming in and a .320 average.
We are all expecting a big year from Will Venable. Will Venable is expecting a big year. He stays back on that ball. Did you see the lower part of the body started to go forward, but he kept his hands back, recognizing that off-speed pitch and depositing that into left center field for a base knock. Hey, it's going to take some time. It's like a golfer adjusting his swings. It's just not going to happen overnight.
Venable at first, stole 26 bases last year as switch hitting third baseman Chase Headley digs in off his career high last season at 289. He and Padre fans hope they can raise that home run total, and he feels he's a double-digit home run hitter. High chopper to third, and it's bouncing. There's a spring training kangaroo single over the head of Mike Moustakas, and Headley is aboard with a base hit.
It is night. There is some moisture in the air, but still, the grounds around home plate and on the infield, it's like playing on a parking lot. Moustakas tries to time it, misses the leather. No luck of the Irish on that play, as the Royals are wearing the Kelly green Irish hats.
Moustakas is Irish too.
Everybody's Irish today.
Jesus Guzman, the left fielder, of a terrific season a year ago. Lifetime minor leaguer, and finally at midseason brought up by the Padres and enjoyed that 312 year, by far the best average in a half a year. 5 homers, 44 RBIs. Particularly tough against left-handers. Fouls that one into the glove of catcher Pena.
Bruce Chen is going to throw everything but the kitchen sink here in spring training. Into his 10th year, Dick, as you mentioned, 10th team, into his 10th year in the big leagues. Every arm angle imaginable, he's going to add, he's going to subtract, he's going to try to trick you.
Ooh, hits Guzman, and the bases are loaded.
He'll even hit you sometimes.
So Chen loads him up with 1 out here in the first inning.
Bruce Chen does not throw that hard, so if he intends to throw a fastball on the inside part of the plate, he better make darn sure that he gets it in. If he misses over the heart of the plate, it spells trouble. And unfortunately for Chen, he hits Guzman.
And that brings up Yonder Alonso, a rookie first baseman. One of the big pieces in that huge trade, Matt Latos to the Reds for 4 Cincinnati players. Now low ball 1. He and his parents escaping from Cuba when he was a young boy. And as you look at the runners aboard, Alonso with 23 on his back. Adrian Gonzalez wore 23 in his glorious years with the Padres. Drive to deep right field. That ball hooking into the corner and off the fence, bullpen fence. 1 run scores. 2 runs are in, and here comes a third, streaking to the plate as Guzman, he scores. And on to second, Alonso with a base-clearing double. Oh, my.
Talk about lefty on lefty power. That pitch is on the inside part of the plate, and he spins on that one, just not elevated enough to get out of the ballpark. And for Alonso last year in Cincinnati, only 4 doubles in the short time that he was in a red leg uniform, clearing the bases.
Venable, Headley, and Guzman scoring on that ringing double off the bullpen fence by Alonso, who now has 7 runs batted in this spring. John Baker, another new Padre, acquired from Miami for Wade LeBlanc in the offseason by general manager Josh Burns. Burns, a very busy GM, and he'll be busy tonight as well. He'll join us and talk about some of the moves. Maybe there are more in the making. 3-0 Padres here, bottom of the first.
When you get a power guy like Yonder Alonso, and then you've got a healthy Carlos Quentin, I would say that's a pretty nice left-right 1-2 punch for San Diego. Those are 2 guys that can make Petco Park look rather small.
Pitches on the outside corner to Baker. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He attended in high school the Bay Area, well known, universally for its football play, De La Salle, and then across the bay to Cal Berkeley for his collegiate baseball. Very articulate guy is Baker. Gonna have to have him over for coffee some morning. Reaches out and punches to the left side. Long throw, and just in time. Good footwork by Hosmer the dance in the foul territory and received the ball as it was thrown wide by Moustakas, holding at second Alonso.
You know, it was close at first base because doing that little dance, Hosmer has to change his feet, right? He goes from his left foot to his right foot. Ooh. I wonder if he came off the bag. He was safe, wasn't he?
Well, let's get, it's only in the first inning. We got to get on the umpires early, They can make them alert. First base umpire Chris Guccione. Long, high fly ball to deep left field off the bat of Galvez, and he will touch them all. What a shot. Galvez makes it 5-0. I'm telling you, there are 4 Dominican players that are 20 to 22 years of age out of that academy that John Moore's built in the Dominican Republic. All 4 of them, you combine their spring totals, are over 400. They are part of why this is the #1 farm team in all of baseball.
Did you see how he waited back on that? His front foot was planted, his upper body stayed back, and you talk about Galvez galvanizing that pitch out of here. That was not even wind blown. The wind could be blown straight down. It would still hit one of those kiosks out there selling the churros.
21 years of age is Galvez. He hit .291 at Lake Elsinore last year. Here's a middle infielder with that kind of power. Andy Perino, switch hitting shortstop, also playing some second base.
That ball nearly landed to where those 3 flagpoles are there in deep left field. My goodness.
Was ripped up that temporary bar. Perino on the spring hitting .200, 6 for 30. He has a couple of home runs. Product of Lemoyne College in Syracuse, New York. Up for a cup of coffee last year. He lines it foul. So the Padres exploding here in the first inning. Venable singled, Headley a big hopping single to left. Guzman hit by a pitch. 3-run double off the bat of Alonso and a 2-run shot by Jonathan Galvez. And a 5-0 lead for Buddy Black's Padres.
Dick, I know it's only March 17th in spring training, but still you'd rather have a start like this than a start where everybody's sent down in order. I like the aggressive swings that these guys are taking. They're hacking. They're coming out of their shoes early.
Shot into left field by Perino. And the merry-go-round continues in the first inning as the Padres have hit around. That brings up the pitcher, Corey Lutke. Well, how many times throughout last year did we hunger for just a couple of runs? The new Padres with 5 here, hopefully showcasing a new offense for 2012. Corey had 7 hits last year, hit .212 and swings the bat.
Even Corey hacking at the first pitch, being very aggressive. Bruce Chen's going to go right after him, the fastball, after giving a 5 so far. So why not take a hack at it?
The veteran Chen has led Kansas City in wins each of the last 2 years with 12 victories. Turns that one over outside. Lutke's favorite sport, he told me growing up, it was basketball. His dad was a basketball coach there in Ohio. Went to a small school, farm area near the Indiana border. He said, when your dad's the coach, you got keys to the gym. So he and his brother did a lot of extra shooting. And his Ohio State Buckeyes victorious today are in the Sweet 16. Two balls, 2 strikes. Good rip. What shot. That one screaming into the lower tier off to our right.
You know, it's Bruce Chen in that last pitch. I mentioned arm angles. He dropped down about 9 o'clock there, or 3 o'clock if you're looking straight at the left-hander. He'll go high 3/4, low 3/4 over the top. Change speeds on every one of his pitches.
And Lutke runs the count full.
Mark Hosmer is going to play behind the runner at first base, that being Andy Perino.
That will be out of play. Just looking ahead, our next telecast here on Fox Sports San Diego will be next Friday night. Cincinnati Reds here at Peoria, and the Padres will play Kansas City a couple of more times on television, late here at Peoria and then at Petco Park on April 3rd.
Heads up
back toward us. That one deflected into the booth next door. Just about got Mark Sweeney.
Mark Sweeney, the pinch hitter extraordinaire during his playing days.
My pal Todd Hansen.
There he is. But Sweeney was never good at going to his right. That's one thing for sure on the scouting report about Mark Sweeney.
Well, they saved Sarah Farnsworth. That's what matters. Lupke lifts it to right. Look at the wind take that into right field. So that's it for the Padres. What an opening inning. 5 runs on 5 hits, including a 3-run double and a 2-run homer by Jonathan Galvez. Equals Padres 5, Kansas City nothing. Padres baseball is back, and you can be a part of all the action. 2012 season tickets. Enjoy great benefits all season long, like discounted parking, exclusive events, and much more. Starting as low, get this, as $7 a ticket. Plans are flexible to fit your needs. Don't wait. Get your 2012 Padres season tickets tonight, tomorrow, by calling 619-795-5555. Dick Enberg with Mark Grant here at the Peoria Sports Complex. They extended the relationship with the Padres for another some 20 years. And they're going to improve already a very fine baseball facility. 7 diamonds offices in this 19 years that the Padres and the Seattle Mariners have shared this facility. Jeff Francoeur, the right fielder, leading off for the Royals. Grew up in the Atlanta area. Braves, Mets, Royals now in his 2nd season. Talk about a little league team, Mark Grant. How about Francoeur and Brian McCann, the catcher of the Braves, on the same little league team?
I would have to say they did not lose a lot of games.
That one just misses, 2-1.
And that looked like a changeup from Corey Lupke. The changeup in 2011 for the left-hander was pretty much non-existent. That's going to be a big pitch for the left-hander this year.
Just missed on the fastball, 3-1.
And one other thing that Corey's trying to work on this spring is combining the curveball and the slider into a slurve. Darren Balsley on the right, working with Corey.
That one sailing down the right field line. You got to stay with it. It's blowing back into the field of play. Will Venable putting on the brakes, and it lands on the warning path. That ball must have curved another 15-20 feet. It was headed for deep into the seats, and the wind blew it back almost in play. And that's going to become more and more treacherous. The winds are expected to increase as the night grows longer, up to 25-30 miles an hour. Full count.
Jeff Francoeur is a guy who does not get cheated. That's been the number one note on Francoeur ever since he came up to the big leagues. He does not get cheated. He will not walk. If he sees a fastball, he's going to be hacking at it.
Right center field, over is Venable, and that ball falls in front of him. Looked as if Will lost that ball in the lights. He stopped and froze for a moment, and then the ball dropped in for a base hit.
I think you may be right, Dick. Pretty good candles here at Peoria Sports Complex. Light up this field quite well, but then there might be a point where the ball is hit at a certain angle, a certain height, and the outfielder is caught in his tracks, and you see it right there. Will Venable paused for just a second, and rather than trying to charge it, waiting back, letting the ball hit in front of him rather than having that ball scoot by him.
Brings up the third baseman Mike Moustakas, the 23-year-old. Chatsworth, California, where in high school he set the California record, 54 home runs as a high schooler. Another number one pick by the Royals. They're loaded with top prospects. In fact, they were a bit disappointed last year as these young kids with great talent are really growing up on the major league level. 22, 23, 24, and they were 71 and 91 last year, as were the Padres. And most folks feel that the year of maturation on this lineup is going to bode well for a winning season in KC.
Corey Lukey is just trying to pound the zone with fastballs and challenging these Royal hitters.
Ball and 2 strikes now on Moustakas.
If you're good enough to locate that fastball, it gets to the point to where a pitcher can say, okay, I'm going to throw you a fastball, but you don't know where I'm going to locate it, and that's where Corey Lukey can be really successful. See if he tries to go
Runner
down.
goes. They got him picked off. Alonso throws. Carino there for the tag, and erased is Francoeur.
More and more teams, when it comes to base running, especially when there's a left-hander out of the mound, it's a do-or-die situation. As soon as that leg was lifted, Francoeur is off and running. If you wait any longer, you're going to be just gone, wiped out. So as soon as that left foot goes up, Francoeur is off. Okay, now he's got to try to make it to the bag as quickly as he can. Nice throw on the inside part of the plate.
And Moustakas goes down swinging, the third strikeout. Tag by Perino had Phantom written all over it, however. But the ball was so far in advance of the runner, he got the out call.
Looked like something off speed there, kind of turned it over a little bit. He's down in the zone. And a big key for any pitcher, if you're going to miss with the off-speed pitch, miss down, and he did just that.
That's an example of why left-handers had so much trouble hitting Lukey last year. The average by lefties against Lukey, 157. Unieski, Betancourt, part of the terrific double play combination for the Royals. He and the man who follows, catcher Brian Pena, both born in Cuba. Hit 268 last year. And his 67 runs batted in, was second best in the majors for a shortstop. High fly ball. This is an adventure up into the wind. Maben waiting for it to come down, and he squeezes it for the final out. No runs to hit. With the pickoff move, no one left. Middle of the second, 5-0 Padres.
This
You Padres fans, and the Padres start the season against the Dodgers Thursday, April 5th, 4:05. It's almost sold out, folks. Fans in attendance will receive an opening day t-shirt presented by Saquon. Opening day tickets going fast, so be sure to buy early. Save at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555.
I've got to pinch you, Dick Enberg. You're not wearing green, my friend.
Well, you don't know. But did you wear blue yesterday on St. Euro's Day? The Finnish holiday, the version of St. Patrick's Day, the Finns, St. Euro, chase the grasshoppers out of Lapland?
Really?
Give me a break. Excuse for vodka, you know. Well, there's a pair. Hubba, hubba.
Everybody wearing their green tonight. Hey, you know what? I was going to elaborate on this in the pregame show, but you know what I'm fired up most about Fox Sports San Diego?
What?
Not only the hour pre and postgame shows, I'm going to show you a lot of baseball.
1-1 to Maben. Drive down the right field line. If that's fair, it's trouble. That's sailing all the way to the fence. And Daddy Longlegs on the move, and he's going to pull up at second base with a leadoff double.
Mark Sweeney in the pregame show talked about Cameron Maben and timing on the leg kick, and he said he's going to have to adjust that depending on if guys throw off-speed pitches. Let's see where the foot is down. That was an abbreviated leg kick. Remember in the pregame show we told you about his knee coming up to the belt buckle. That was a lower leg kick, and Cameron picking up the third base coach Glenn Hoffman, holding it to a double for Cameron.
A risk and reward with no one out. You hold at second. Had there been one out, he might have tried for three. Will Venables single to start that 5-run go-around, tries to bunt his way on, and he will come back and try again as that one kicks foul. Channel electing not to field it wisely. Venable back to home plate.
But getting back to Fox Sports San Diego, all the games being on Fox, seeing more Padre games, our pre and post game show. But you're talking 5 hours roughly of San Diego Padre baseball on Fox Sports San Diego. I'm fired up.
I am too, and a terrific team that's been assembled. And we're so pleased to finally get it underway here. The ship is out of port. We're sailing. Most comprehensive coverage in Padre history here on television.
And as a player, think about all the family and friends that are going to have the chance to see Padre baseball all across the country.
And not only the hour pre and an hour post game show, there's the Padres weekly show, a point of view presented by Saquon, where we follow players. You see them on and off the field and what's going on in their lives. I'm having a lot of fun with a cup of coffee, sitting down with Padres for a half hour and going through the personal effects of these guys. I've always felt in my 50 years of broadcasting, one of the major responsibilities I have is to put a personality with a number. These are all young men that are very interesting, a lot of characters, and hopefully we can draw that out over a cup of Jet.
I would love to have a cup of Joe with you someday.
Hey, you're on. You're on.
I'll even make the coffee.
I'll invite you. You don't have to. Up the middle. Weekly hit, and the shortstop Escobar will get the out at first base as we go downstairs to one of the new members of our team, Layla Rahimi.
Hi, thank you. In fact, much has been made about this Padres offense, especially since they were 29th in Major Leagues last year in team batting average, but they have a new face as well in the coaching staff. Hitting coach Phil Plantier, he's worked with these guys in the cages. A lot has been made about what he's been able to do with these young Padres, especially in the cages here at spring training so far. And additionally, he's also worked with older guys on just getting their individual styles down and working with them. And he's got a lot of new faces and, of course, hopefully to be able to work with.
All right, thanks, Layla. A little trouble with the microphone and the wind and all as Chase Headley, who singled at high hopper over the third baseman's head his first time up. With Maben at third, one out, trying to pick up the sixth Padre run of the night. And he takes strike three. So the infield now will move back to normal depth with two away, and Jesus Guzman, the batter.
You know, just to elaborate what Layla was talking about, Phil Plantier and Alonzo Powell sharing the duties, which I think more clubs are going to start to lean towards in doing. And that's a lot of personnel to take care of.
There's Josh Burns nearest the camera. Tom Garfinkel, the president. A.J. Hinch, the assistant general manager.
Josh is going to come up to the booth, as Dick mentioned earlier, and share his thoughts regarding spring training 2012.
Well, they're intently in focus, aren't they? One and one now on Guzman.
He mentioned about Phil Plantier and Alonzo Powell. Alonzo Powell made a joke today. He said, I got to go to the cages. He goes, I get my mail there. I spent so much time in the batting cages. So these guys are working very, very hard in spring training in the batting cages.
Plantier is a self-described cage rat. Swung on and fouled into the glove of catcher Pena. 1-2 on Guzman, hit by a pitch and scored on the bases loaded double by Alonso in the first inning. Popped up. First baseman Hosmer, look at the wind, drive that one in and over, and Hosmer squeezes it for the out. No runs, a hit. As the double by Maven leading off, he dies at third. Buddy Black coming up. We return to Peoria. Spirit here in Peoria, northwest of Phoenix, as we go to the third inning. 5-0 Padres, a 5-run explosion for Bud Black in the first inning. And these youngsters, since the camp began, buddy, everyone's salivating about the potential moving forward. And young Galvez comes through with a bomb there in the first inning.
How about that one, Dick? That launched over that pavilion. That ball was crushed.
And it's not just a snowstorm down in the minor leagues. There's a potential avalanche coming.
Well, let's hope so. We've seen some good things this spring so far. Lariano, Rincon, Galvez, Valdez, and some pitching as well with Kelly and Whelan and Erlin. Some nice young players, Dick.
There's a wind-blown bloop single by Pena to right.
Buddy, is one of the things that you like to see this spring? I know it's early, but the aggression that these hitters are showing early in the count?
Well, that's one thing we talked about a little bit is, be the aggressor. We talk about it on the mound. I think it also bodes well on offense as well. I know that Phil's talked that at length with the guys about be ready to hit, be ready for that first fastball attack.
Luke, he stayed in the lineup on an evening where Kansas City uses the DH. You're thinking there?
Well, Dick, you find it a lot here in spring training. American League clubs, ask if they could use the DH, and we'll accommodate in most cases. Early in the year, we'll use the DH when only our pitchers are going a couple innings. But now, this time of spring, we want Corey tonight to get some at-bats. We want our pitchers to get their ABs. And on the other end, we'll be accommodating to American League clubs to let them play their game.
Well, we talked early, Bud, and opening this first telecast on Fox Sports San Diego about the pitching. Aaron Harang, 14 wins. Matt Latos, 9 wins from last year. LeBlanc on, a couple from the bullpen. You're going to have to fill those spots. Give us your thinking.
Well, Dick, you're right. I mean, we lost some quality arms. There's no doubt about it. We feel as though we have some guys, though, who can, pick up the slack. Volquez, Clayton Richard coming back, Cashner, Houston Street. So we got some names that we think can do the job. There's no doubt, Bell and Adams and Harang and Latos, we're very solid for us. But we think the guys that we have, Dick, can, put up the numbers, put up the innings that we need to be successful.
It's Escobar with a base hit, so 2 on, no one out here in the top of the third.
Buddy, talking about defense, last year I know it wasn't as tight as you would like, but what have you done this year to try to tighten up that defense, and who's a big key?
Well, the first 6 weeks weren't good at all. We talked about it, at length as we went through last season. We tightened it up the last 3.5 months much better. We got to where we needed to be statistically in the National League. We're talking about it now. Obviously, again, we have a few different players. They don't remember last year, but, it starts in the middle. Maven, Bartlett, and Hudson and our catchers have to be very solid. I think last year Bartlett got off to sort of a slow start defensively, but rebounded. And he knows that defense is his game, same with Orlando. So I suspect that we'll be a good defender, this season.
Final question. Carlos Quentin was rip-roaring here in the spring, 8 for 15, showed power, 533 average, and then the bad news today that he needs surgery.
Yeah, a little frustrating. He was in a good spot, mentally with his offense. Really enjoyed, the first few weeks of spring training here as a Padre. He was really looking forward to opening day as a Padre in San Diego. But reality is, his knee was in a place where he needed surgery. And we thought that now's the time to do it, with 19 days left before the season, arthroscopic procedure. Hopefully it will only be 3.5, 4 weeks or so, maybe a little bit more, and he'll be back playing.
So we could see him in mid-April.
Let's hope so. We'll find out more Monday after Dr. Henneke performs the surgery. But our indications are that, hopefully it's sometime in April, and hopefully it's mid-April.
All right, Bud. Thanks for the visit.
Okay, guys.
Hubba, hubba. Gordon hits a high fly ball to center field, and the wind's got that one chasing Maben to the wall. It's off the wall. 1 run will come around third, and now they got runners hung up between second and third. And who are they on? They're going to get the lead runner. And here's the rundown. Headley chasing, makes the tag. The other runners do move up to second and third.
Well, the big top. Where are the dancing bears?
Oh, a wind-blown normal fly ball, and that just wouldn't stop. It went off the middle of the backdrop out in center field, and it's all in play.
This is going to sound funny, but you know what I like most about this play? After this ball hits, look at where Venable and Guzman are. They're in your picture. That's the left fielder on the left and the right fielder on the right. So now the runners are hung up. That ball is hit so high, they don't know whether it's going to be caught or be a live ball. But every Padre, every position player for the Padres on that particular play knew where they were supposed to be on that particular hit baseball, and that's what's good to see.
That was a 450-foot single.
Yep.
Runners at second and third, however, after the lead runner, Pena, tagged out. And here's Lorenzo Cain. That's interesting, the ground rules here at Peoria, that backdrop, which is 40 feet high, it looks as if it's separated, the padding down below, but that's all one piece. So anything on that wall, no matter how high it is in play, except the window where the center field television camera is. And in the game earlier this spring, a ball was struck and hit in the hole, and that proved to be a home run. It was Kyle Blanks who drilled one. He had good direction, a tee shot into the hole, and a home run for Blanks, who probably benefits from the injury to Carlos Quentin, because if he figures to be the man to take Quentin's place in the outfield, should have asked Buddy that question.
That's just both outfielders knowing the conditions and knowing what to do when the high fly ball is hit. Hey, if it goes over the wall, it's a home run, right? You'd rather be somewhere than just in case. We saw both Guzman and Venable in the picture helping out Cameron Maben.
3 balls and a strike now on Lorenzo Cain with first base open. Escobar at second and Gordon at first. And the bases are full of Royals. Tomorrow on Fox Sports San Diego, Blake Griffin and the Clippers host the Pistons. Coverage begins at 11:30 with Clippers Live. Then later, a battle on ice, the Ducks and the Predators. Puck drops at 5, followed by Ducks Live after the game. Clippers, Ducks tomorrow on Fox Sports San Diego. Well, bases loaded, 5-0 Padres. That lead in jeopardy is Eric Hosmer, one of the leaders in spring training in the entire major leagues, with a dozen RBIs, a chance to pick up a couple more. He grounded to second his first at bat.
Looked like a little bit of late movement on that last pitch from Corey Lupke, because kind of a defensive swing.
58 miles an hour was
from
the
Hosmer.
register.
I think that was the gremlins in the wind here in Peoria, kind of messing with the
leprechauns, huh?
Yeah.
Big swing, and that might have been the slurve.
That's the one pitch they're trying to incorporate into one pitch, being the slurve. The curveball and the slider combined makes a slurve. Right on the inside corner. Nice frame job by John Baker. Now you locate a sweeper off the plate, have him fish for it.
Fouled out of play.
Tried to put him away with the fastball. And Corey was just shaking his head. It looked like Baker may have said something to him. That was too close of a pitch around the zone. Something Hosmer may have had the chance to square up on. Take a look at the breakdown for Corey Lupke. Maybe 60, 70 pitches in store tonight for the left-hander.
And this is where he needs his fourth strikeout. And just misses. What was wrong with that one? The cry to plate umpire Toby Bassner.
You know what my goal is this year, Dick? In spring training, I'm not going to get on the umpires. That was a strike. Ball's got to be called a strike, huh?
It sure does. Baker had set up outside, and he may have fooled the umpire by having to reach back for it. Certainly looked like it got piece of the plate.
Well, Hosmer really hasn't put good swings on the breaking balls from Corey Lupke. It'd be safe to say that a put-away pitch here would be that slurve down and away off the plate.
Bases jammed. Royals with one out here in the third. To second. Could it be two? There's Galvez to Perino. Back to first. Not in time. Hosmer just did beat the throw. And a run scores. Close call at first. The Royals on the board 5-1.
Nice spin job by Galvez. Spinning towards his glove hand side. Is it a strike? It's up there, but good throw. Out at first. Very close.
Bang, bang.
Hey, the umpires are in spring training too, right?
That's the usual.
Yeah. We'll give him a
bailout. So Hosmer at first. Moving over to third base is Gordon. 5-1 San Diego. 2 away, and here's Billy Butler. He takes a strike. Butler struck out his first time up. Lupke jumps in front, 2 strikes. First run allowed by Corey Lupke this spring, now in his third outing. So he's gone 7 2/3 innings before the first run allowed.
Well, quickly ahead. Corey Lupke's been to Hosmer. Couldn't put him away. Now Butler.
93 on that fastball. into center field for a base hit. Run scores. Checking in is Gordon, and it's a 5-2 game. And the tying run comes to the plate. Butler with his 6th RBI of the spring.
See where the pitch is. Yeah, it's a breaking ball. It's a slurve, and it goes right into the belt buckle of Butler, and it's elevated. Now, if that pitch is down where Corey wants it, it's probably a ground ball to the left side, or at least the shortstop, Andy Perino. It's a big old boy right there, Billy Butler. He's going to muscle it if it's up there in the zone over the infielders' heads.
5-2 Padres here in the top of the 3rd, and veteran Jeff Francoeur at the plate. Good rip at that. Francoeur dropped a single into right center his first time. Ball that appeared to be lost in the lights by right fielder Venable.
Corey's going to have to make an adjustment. Work down in the zone, miss down.
Ground ball to third. Headley fields, goes the short way, and the inning is over. But the Royals pick up a couple of runs on 4 hits, 2 left. It's 5-2 San Diego.
Baseball. I'm Annie Heilbrunn at the Fox Sports Grill. Check out these kicks. I have found me some Padres fans. Tell me, what brought you guys out here tonight?
We came out to check out the new Fox Sports San Diego.
Awesome. Watching the Padres. Who are you most excited to see? Who do you think will be the biggest impact this season on the team?
You know, I think Houston Street's ready to step in there and fill Heath Bell's role pretty well. I think he's been a solid closer for a long time, so I think he's poised to have a really good year.
Houston Street, the Padres closer. With that, I'm going to close it here. Send it back to you guys in Peoria.
All right, so that's one of the exciting facets of the Fox Sports San Diego coverage. Folks have been in San Diego, haven't been able to enjoy Padre baseball at their favorite watering hole or places like Rancho Santa Fe. You're going to see Padres baseball this year, and every game. Alonso reaches out and punches a single. Center field, he's 2 for 2. A 3-run double and a single, and that's the kind of hitting you're going to see from Alonso. He's a guy big enough you're going to expect a lot of power, but what you're going to get is that kind of hitting, as he said, and this is what Tony Gwynn would just love to hear. I went to Petco Park and I love the grass. There's so much of it.
Playing plenty of hits out there in all fields, and that's what Alonso is going to do. I think that's going to be his strength.
That brings up John Baker, grounded to third, his first at bat. A career 271 hitter, so that will give Bud Black, when Baker isn't catching and Nick Hundley's in there, gives him a left-handed bat late in the game.
Great addition.
Another is Mark Kotze, former Padre, San Diego area resident, coming back.
I could just tell during Fan Fest when we had a chance to meet all the new faces, Dick, that this team, they were going to be good teammates. And that's not the case on every single team. They've got a good mixture of guys down there in that clubhouse.
And KCA in particular, with a reputation of being a good veteran, tough veteran. And you need somebody down there that is able to challenge your own teammates.
Right.
You know, you went through that. You need someone you respect in the clubhouse that is almost the right arm of the manager. Taken. It's 3-1. Best I ever saw was with the Angels many years ago, Don Baylor.
I was just going to guess. Groove. Don Baylor was probably that guy.
Oh, he was a man.
Nothing personal, just business, right? Because he wants to win.
That's it. Yeah, that's right. The old line. Shot to short and right through Escobar's defense. He goes back to pick it up, and there's runners at first and second. That potential double play ball ate up Escobar, and not many balls do.
Yeah, that in-between hop has probably got some funny English on it as well. You can see that John Baker gets on top of that ball. It's got some serious top spin on it.
Ruled a hit.
Absolutely.
Padres now with 8 hits in 2 innings plus.
Hey, Fox Sports San Diego is already catching on like wildfire. I've got some Yahoo friends of mine back in Joliet, Illinois, who's got us tuned in. So FSSD, Fox Sports San Diego, hot in Joliet.
Here's young Jonathan Galvez, 21-year-old from the Dominican Republic. He sent a 450-foot home run over the left field fences last time up. He fouls this one back, and let's go back to that first inning 2-run shot.
Oh, did that sound good? Tell you what, that's the way Mark Sweeney used to hit them, and that's the ones that Mark Grant and Mike Pomerantz used to give up.
Oh my. Sometimes you just have to close your eyes and listen to the sound.
That's
and
a sweet sound, isn't it? Except if you're 60 feet 6 inches away.
Couldn't check a swing on that high fastball, so Galvez down on strikes on this at bat. Second strikeout for veteran Chen. Brings up Perino. He singled his first time. Chen's grandparents were born in China and migrated to Panama, where he was born. Now lives nearby in Surprise, Arizona. Sounds like a Abbott and Costello routine. Where do you live? Surprise. No, I mean, where do you live? High strike. I've noticed here in spring training, I've seen most of the games. Umpires are calling the high strike more than ever before.
I like it.
I like it too, and they've been consistent.
It seems like that's almost cyclical, because back in the late 80s, they were mandated to start calling the high strike, and then once the season started,
pick off at first and out at first base. Not able to dive back in time is John Baker. Baker didn't agree. That was a close call. Boy, first base umpire Cuccione has had some tough ones.
Looks like there was a missed sign because Baker was off and running. As soon as that pitch was being thrown, he was off and running, and then you saw John Baker flash look to Alonso on second base. He wasn't going anywhere, so he had to try to scurry back to the bag.
So what started as a promising inning by Alonso and Baker singles, now a strikeout and a pickoff, and so 2 outs. Perino 1 and 2. That one fouled away.
Good 2-strike approach from Perino, trying to pepper that right field line from the right side of the batter's box.
Chen may be working his last inning. Activity in the Royals bullpen. From Sicily Bueno.
Some nights he can be muy bueno. Some nights not so bueno.
What a linguist. Foul back.
He's got to make an adjustment like Corey Lupke. Bruce Chen now getting some pitches up. That foul ball down the right field line. High elevated fastball. This pitch from Chen. Wants it down and in. That is leaked up above the belt buckle and in just enough to where Perino can't get a good part of the bat on it. But a dangerous pitch.
In the dirt, kicks away, and moving on to third base is Alonso. Now 2 outs. Alonso 90 feet away from making it 6-2. To see Pena, the catcher, and this is just so troublesome to Kansas City. They've lost their top 2 catchers here in spring training, both in freak accidents. Warming up in the bullpen and catching their spikes and turning and blowing out a knee. And so Ned Yost, the catcher himself in his playing days, is going to be desperate to find some help from management to go out and maybe a trade to pick up a veteran catcher. Perino chops it to third. Moustakas across for the out. And the Padres are gone in the third. Waste a couple of leadoff singles. After 3, it's 5-2 San Diego.
The decision was made.
Gear in attendance tonight. You can get suited up for spring training yourself at the official online shop of the Padres with the largest selection of authentic spring training gear, including clubhouse caps, t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and more. Get set for spring at the official source, thepadres.com shop. To the 4th, Lupke with a 5-2 lead. Will face Moustakas, Betancourt, and the catcher Pena.
Going camouflage, going retro here in Peoria.
Those 11,000 uniforms donated by the Padres to the Little Leaguers in San Diego.
Wasn't that a great thing?
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, you're building your fan base for years to come. Those kids are going to be Padre fans forever. You remember your first uniform.
I do.
You've got to align yourself with that team. Moustakas slicing it down the left field line. The wind's got it, and it drops just foul. That one almost blown into fair territory. A windy night, hitter's delight. Anyway, the 11,000, and even though one national writer made fun, more than that, was very critical of the camouflage uniforms of the Little Leaguers. There they are.
Those
in
are
action.
awesome.
That was great. You know what the #1 most popular uniform of 20 choices or 20 different varieties of Padre uniforms? #1, the camouflage.
Was it?
By the kids.
What a great look. And what a great, there's Tom Garfinkel.
His idea, and it was, I think, a stroke of brilliance.
Absolutely.
That one just misses a ball and 2 strikes.
Now, you know those the boys and girls that play Little League baseball now, they're gonna, you know what, they want to be Padres now at Petco Park.
Absolutely. Bring them out. They'll wear them when they come to the game. Chop foul. I remember, you born before Little League days, and your mother would, put something on your T-shirt that made you look like
it on.
Yeah, like a Detroit Tiger. Growing up in Michigan. the allegiance to the home team.
And that's when it should be fun. As a Little League, go out there, play every position, learn every position, make new friends.
Knock him out.
And if you get a guy 0-2, bury him with the fastball.
Twice Moustakas has gone down swinging.
Corey Lupke gets behind that fastball, and even though he misses with location that's up, hitters will go after that high pitch because it looks good out of the hand, so it works to the advantage of Corey Lupke.
4 strikeouts, a single walk for Lupke tonight. Into his 4th inning. Here's Betancourt, fly to center. First time. Breaking ball in there.
Nice breaking ball from Corey. Backdoor variety right on the outside corner.
Veteran Jeff Suppan starts to warm up in the Padre bullpen. He'll go next. Chopped, and that one doesn't kick over the head of Headley. Races and fires across for the out. 2 gone here in the 4th. There's Suppan. He just won't let the baseball dream of passion for this game die. He wants to try it one more year, battling to make the club. Pena. That was Boxberger, who was also scheduled to pitch. Brad Boxberger. Suppan was up earlier and was scheduled to go second. Boxberger, part of that big trade for Matt Latos with Cincinnati. We'll talk more about that when he comes in. Meanwhile, here's Pena and Salvador Perez, the brilliant 21-year-old Venezuelan catcher, 6'3", 245, blowing out a knee. So Pena now the number 3 catcher in that backup spot. Grounds out, and Lupke, a 1-2-3 4th inning. It's the Padres by 3.
I'm Annie Heilbrunn at the Fox Sports Grill, where, as you can see, we've got fans of all ages. Who is your little leprechaun here?
This is Noah.
And is Noah a Padres fan?
Of course.
Of course he is. Who do you think is Noah's favorite player?
Well, he really likes Cameron Maben.
Yes, Cameron Maben, Killer Cam. He just signed a 5-year contract with the Padres. He's going to be back for a long time. Guys, back to you.
All right, many thanks. As the Padre fans with the win tonight, a little cooler than normal here in the desert. And the new pitcher for the Royals is Francisco Bueno, Cuban-born, makes his home in the Dominican Republic. He's got a story, a very interesting Major League story we'll share with you. A long shot to make the team. Played in Monterrey, Mexico last year. He'll face Chris Denorfia, making his spring training debut as Denorfia with this at bat, hitting for Lupke. Denorfia suffering from a sore back throughout the early part of spring, and finally getting that feeling A-OK. And yesterday in a B game, went over with the minor leaguers, a single, double, and a triple. He said, "I'm ready."
That's one of those injuries where you really have to make darn well sure that you are healthy. If you feel good, you know, I'm ready to go, take an extra day and then go get them. And Dick, there is an advantage once minor league camp starts. What a great advantage for Bud Black and the guys who are going to be like pinch hitting. You can go over to the minor league complex and get 10, 12 at bats.
Slow curveball hangs 2-2.
They'll send guys over there to start off every inning. Hey, you get an arrangement with the other team. Say, hey, Chris Denorfia is going to get to a leadoff spot in every inning that our team hits to get some at bats, and that's an advantage.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Denorfia takes it low, 3-2, and after Denorfia's at bat, we're going to go down to Layla and get the reaction for Corey Lupke, who went 4 innings, so he's now gone 9 innings this spring, allowing only 2 runs actually, 2 runs tonight. Ground ball toward the hole, cut off by Moustakas, and he gets the out at first. Layla.
Well, I'm joined by Corey Lupke, who just finished his evening. 4 strikeouts for you, 2 runs though, but otherwise a pretty nice outing. What did you think of what you were able to do tonight?
I felt good. You know, that 3rd inning, you know, I had some guys, got ahead of some guys and didn't put them away. That was the only thing I was frustrated with. You know, give them credit. I got ahead of a few of them. They battled a little bit and put some balls in play. And you know, there wasn't a lot of hard contact, but that's what happens when you don't put guys away. So I felt good. That last inning, got to work on a few pitches I've been working on. So just looking to roll with it.
The wind affect you at all tonight? A little bit windier than it is normally here in Peoria.
I mean, you know, you got to deal with with the situation you got, and wind was blowing out pretty good tonight, but it's blowing out for both teams, so just tried to go out and deal with it.
And you had a little defensive fun too. Talk about just running down Alcides Escobar there.
Yeah, he kind of took off on me, but no, it was a good time.
And what are you hoping to do, at least for the rest of your next couple of games here in spring training?
Arm feeling's good. I just want to keep working on my off speed and you know, get to where I can throw small speed and some counts I normally wouldn't. But just fastball command and going out and competing.
Solid outing for Corey Lupke. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Close play at first again, and although falling out the bag, and Maben thought he had a base hit there. Good play made by Moustakas behind third, and then the throw across, and first baseman Hosmer able to maintain contact with the bag, says umpire Guccione.
Great reaction time by Moustakas, planting, and then the long throw. It's off line. Well, how that ball gets through the wickets of Maben, and how Hosmer holds on to that baseball is amazing to me.
And toe dance with that right toe. Look at that.
I think Cameron's argument was that his foot did not touch the bag. It hit behind the bag. But once again, a lot of feet, a lot of leather being thrown around first base.
Here's Venable, a single, and a ground out to short. Houston Street now begins to loosen up in the bullpen for the Padres. Venable singled and scored in the first inning, grounded to short in the second. There's the veteran Street, acquired from the Colorado Rockies to take the place of Heath Bell as the closer here in 2012. And on Lupke, he was a very modest, soft-spoken, quiet guy, but very interesting and a very bright guy. He was an academic star at Ohio State as well. He said he wants to be the competitor, and he named some names in the National League West, so that he said, I'd like my name to be included with the likes of Lincecum and Kane and Ian Kennedy of Arizona. He said, I want to be able to compete at that. I want to pitch against those guys and beat them.
Hey, you know, I know he's older than Clayton Kershaw, and Clayton Kershaw put up some great numbers, but Corey Lupke has the chance. He's got the chance to put up some darn good numbers as a starter like a Clayton Kershaw.
And what a good break for the Padres. They get to see Kershaw on opening day at Petco Park. He's scheduled to open the season, the Cy Young Award winner for the Dodgers.
When you look at Corey Lupke's numbers last year combined, innings pitched, strikeouts, hits, walks, ERA.
Another foul. Count remains full on Will Venable.
It is some kind of nice.
Well, we've talked to a lot of hitters last year, and they said that left-hander of yours, you know, just keep him out of there when you come to town. Well, we don't want to face him. That's the highest form of praise. Line foul. And off Hoffman down there at third, wisely giving a lot of ground. He plays a deep third base coach.
Hey, not only does Glenn Hoffman flash the signs, but when he's in the dugout and the defense is out on the field, Glenn Hoffman positions the infielders where they want to play. Dave Roberts positions the outfielders from that bench.
Strike 3 call. So it's plate umpire Bassner. And the Padres are out in order here in the 4th. Pretty good job by the long shot minor league signee Francisli Bueno. Bueno good in the 4th. We go to the 5th inning, 5-2 San Diego, and tomorrow on Fox Sports San Diego you can get an inside look at this team with the Padres season preview. We'll sit down with Buddy Black, meet some of the new faces of the 2012 Padres. Padres season preview tomorrow at 4 on Fox Sports San Diego. Houston Street.
Well, there's the scouting report on the veteran right-hander taking the place of Heath Bell. Fastball, slider, and a changeup. This guy can dot an I with the best of them from 60 feet 6 inches away. That is why you see the great command. He has to hit his spots on the corners because Houston Street is not overpowering into his 8th year as a big leaguer.
Infielder through high school in Austin, Texas, the son of an All-America football player, James Street of the Longhorns. And then on to Texas, and he also was the starting pitcher, and they had so much talent at Texas that he wanted to play. He said, I'll go anywhere. He said, well, go to the bullpen. He wound up being the World Series most valuable player as the Longhorns won the national title. Escobar, then Gordon, the top of the order, and Kane here for the Royals in the 5th inning. Relief pitcher numbers are often misleading, 1 and 4. Bunted out in front of the plate, snapped up in a hurry by Baker, and he throws out Escobar easily.
Like a cat. John Baker off with the mask, creating a nice throwing lane down to first base for that good throw.
Brings up Alexander Gordon, the leadoff hitter.
Okay, as a catcher, right, you got to come out of that box off with the mask. See how he positions himself there? He's positioning himself even before he touches that baseball, and then fires a strike down to first base. We know that Baker is not a butcher when it comes down to throwing down to first base.
Thought you were going to break into a nursery rhyme there. Gordon struck out, and then he hit that wind-blown drive deep to center field that clipped the top of the hitter's backdrop and fell for a single in the 2-run 3rd inning for the Royals. Checking his swing, and he went around, says third base umpire Barry Larson.
That's a nice short little tight breaky ball from Houston Street to counter that straight fastball in the corners.
Street is just 28 years of age. And he gets him with that breaking ball. And as you'll remember, any of you fans who came out to see the Rockies against the Padres at Petco, Street just owned San Diego. I mean, he just loved pitching at Petco.
That is the backdoor breaking ball. Right on the outside corner. So Houston Street has demonstrated great command on the fastball and the breaking ball as well.
Brings up Lorenzo Cain, a double and a walk tonight. Good looking young hitter. Figures to be a regular. Came up with Milwaukee and brief stint. Part of that Zach Greinke trade. Royals feel he'll be a center fielder for a long time.
If it stays in the ballpark, there's a pretty good chance that Cain's gonna get it. He's that quick in the outfield.
That able. Huh?
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. It took a second, but I got it.
Spring training for all of us.
Cain is very able. I got you.
All right, ball and 2 strikes. Stick around, folks. We get worse. And that one in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Padres got Houston Street from the Rockies for left-hander Nick Schmidt, minor league pitcher, and cash considerations in the offseason. Very interesting young man. Misses away, and the count is full on Cain.
One of the things I love about spring training. Look at Bruce Chen. After twirling 4 innings, going out and getting his running in on the warning track right during a big league ball game. I love that.
High and over our heads, out of play.
A little extra work in. Some guys will go to the bullpen after throwing 4 innings, maybe throwing 60 pitches. Maybe they want to stretch it out a little more. They'll continue their work throwing and then do their running.
What did you do?
I took it on in. No. I did my running. I did my liners out there in the outfield, did some sprints.
On the corner, strike 3 as Houston Street pins that outside edge. A couple of strikeouts and a 1-2-3 5th inning for the man from Austin, Houston Street. No rain, some wind, but so far so good as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And you fans, this year you can save when you buy your San Diego Padre tickets early. The earlier you buy them, the better the chance the prices are better for you. They vary depending on the game you want to attend and when you buy. So check Padres.com for current ticket prices and be sure to buy early and save. And the Padres come out of the gate with an attractive first homestand with the Dodgers in April 5th That's a Thursday, a 4-game series with the Dodgers, an off day on the Monday, and then 3 with the National League Western champion Arizona Diamondbacks. So get your tickets early and save. Big old Jonathan Broxton on the hill for Kansas City, as the big man, former Dodger ace, has wound up in the American League with the Royals, throwing downhill with that big frame and 300 pounds. Houston Street working a perfect inning, a couple of strikeouts. Get his reaction to his first Padre TV exposure with Layla, and Chase Headley completes this opening at bat. It's single to left on a high hopper over the head of the third baseman, and he took a third strike the last time up. Batting left-handed for the first team tonight. Headley, Guzman, and Alonso scheduled here in the 5th against Broxton.
Well, according to some Kansas City personnel, Jonathan Broxton, the big right-hander, as Keith Jackson would say, he is a biggie.
How big is he?
No, he is. He's got to be. I tell you, he's got to tilt the Toledo's around 300, don't you think?
Oh, they list him at 300.
But he's a solid 300, and he is back to the old Jonathan Broxton, back when he was wearing the Dodger blue. Fastball is upper 90s.
Didn't have to change his wardrobe, wearing the same blue. He's listed at 6'4", 300. Only 27. Two-time All-Star with the Dodgers. Native of Waynesboro, Georgia.
He's got to have, what, size 16 shoes? I mean, my goodness. I mean, those zapatos have got to be.
Headley with a leadoff walk as we go down to Layla in the dugout of the Padres.
Houston Street joining me now after a very simple looking inning. We know it's not that easy. 2 strikeouts for you there. How did you feel?
I felt good. It was the best I felt all camp, and made some pitches, made some adjustments. You're always trying to get better. You go 3-2 on a guy when you have him 1-2. Not something you want to do, but Bake made a good play to start the inning, or to get the second out, and it was. I guess that was the first out. I can't even remember at this point, but
it's okay.
Yeah, I know. I got adrenaline right now. It's fun though. It's a night game. Get under the lights, get that feeling, get back in your normal routine. It felt good.
I know that we are talking in Arizona right now, but how much are you looking forward to pitching at Petco Park, especially coming from the elevation in Colorado? I
really am. It's a place I've always felt comfortable. It's obviously a park that does well for pitchers and gives you some forgiveness. I was never really intimidated by pitching in Colorado so much from the pitching side, but being at sea level, recovering, getting to wake up every morning feeling fresh, getting a deep sleep, and not having to worry about the altitude and the cold weather too. You're going to get an even climate.
And then also, just what are you looking forward to in spring training for you and your impressions of it here so far?
Oh, I love it here. I love it here. The guys, we got a good group of guys. We got a good team. And I think we're ready to blossom. I think this is a team that can surprise some people. Obviously, we don't really have a whole lot of expectations, and I think that's a good thing on some levels. At the same time, we want to exceed those expectations and just go out there and execute. And I think we've got a team that can, like I said, surprise some people.
Getting 3 outs also helps too. Houston Street,
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
One at a time.
Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Layla. Impressive night for Street. High hopper to short off the bat of Guzman, and with the runner going, Headley's into second base with 1 away, and Alonso, who has a 3-run double tonight and a single, the hitter. Well, Street told us that after his baseball career, he's already got it all planned out. One of the things he wants to do is attend culinary school.
Nice.
So he may not serve up the main course during the course of the year, but dessert, the ninth inning. That's the thing.
You're at mid-season form right now, and that's awesome.
No wonder I love you.
We should like deck out Houston Street like a chef outfit or something. Do a little something on that.
Alonso chops it to the first baseman Hosmer for the out as Headley moves to third.
Well, we mentioned that Jonathan Broxton is tipping the Toledo's at 300 pounds. He is a big old boy, and the guys for the Kansas City Royals having a little fun. Eric Tieford and Tim Collins are players. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a pair of Jonathan Broxton's pants. They filled his pants with two. Everett Tieford and Tim Collins got inside Jonathan Broxton's britches. Unbelievable.
I'm sure he appreciates us sharing that with San Diego audience. You know, there's the kind of kid, when he was little, he didn't hang up a stocking, he hung up his pants, you know, over on the hearth. You know, boy, Santa really had a busy night at the Broxton household.
That polyester was taking a beating.
Runner at third, 2 outs. John Baker trying to add to the 5-2 Padre lead here in the 5th inning. 2 strikes the countdown on John Baker. He was grounded to third and singled off the glove of shortstop Escobar.
You know, protective swing there, 0-2. And as I look at Moustakas at third base, there's a lot of real estate between the third baseman Moustakas and the line.
And Baker goes that way effectively.
If Broxton tries to pelt that outside corner down, Baker's just got to get the head of the bat out there, and you're talking possibly extra bases, because Alex Gordon is shading the line but also playing a little shallow. The wind blowing out. He gets something up in the air in left field, could spell trouble for Gordon.
Fouled at the plate. Then Mazzaro warming up in the Royals bullpen, and Jeff Suppan was up again in the Padres pen. We'll see whether or not this is for real this time. There's Mazzaro. Five-2 Padres here in the home half of the 5th inning. 2 outs and Chase Headley at third. 2 strikes the count on Baker.
Comes a breaking ball, trying to bury it.
Pulled foul. Right you are, partner.
It looks like Pena behind the plate is wearing whiteout on his fingernails, because you've got the away pants that the Royals are wearing plus the shadow behind home plate, so it's kind of tough to see from a pitcher standpoint when you look in the signs. So you try to help out your pitcher by putting some whiteout or some white tape on those fingernails. As you can see, Pena is putting down the signs there. Fastball in. Tough to see.
Headley off third, 2 strikes the count, and he gets him with a high heater. So Broxton pitches around the leadoff walk. No runs, a man left after 5. The Padres lead it 5-2. Four innings, allowed a couple of hits, struck out 4, walked only 1, continuing his fine spring, and has now gone a full 9 innings here in spring training, allowing just the 2 hits tonight. That high fastball, and he mixed in a lot of changeups. He threw so few last year, and that's been one of his concentrations here in spring training, to improve that pitch. and make the hitters think about something off speed.
It's going to be a great pitch for Corey Lupke as we take a look at Jeff Suppan toeing the slab. Last season at Omaha, a lot of work in, 165 and 2/3 innings pitched. So Jeff Suppan, as Dick mentioned earlier, still has the passion to pitch, still wants to compete, trying to make it one more year in the sun as a San Diego Padre.
A couple of changes along with Suppan, a new catcher, Brad Davis, and in left field, Jeff Decker takes over for Jesus Guzman. Neil Suppan in his 20th pro year. He was drafted back in 1993 by the Red Sox in the second round. And of course, his biggest thrill pitching in the 2006 World Series with the Cardinals, winning his ring. He owns a restaurant in Woodland Hills, San Fernando Valley. And he told us he has a replica of that World Series ring, and they've cut it up into 3 pieces so you can see the 2 sides and the stuff. And he said it's a big conversation piece with people. How could you cut up your World Series ring?
What a great idea, though.
It's a replica. Soup's Grill there in Woodland Hills off DeSoto. 2 balls and a strike the count. Chopped high to Alonso at first, and he'll take it to the bag himself. 1 out is Hosmer taken care of on the ground ball. That'll bring up Billy Butler. So if you go to Soup's Grill there in the Valley, he says the biggest seller is the cheesesteak. His parents grew up in Philadelphia, so they have their special recipe.
Nothing like a good cheesesteak. Well, maybe 2. I've done that before, too.
Kyle Blanks takes over at first base. Another change made by Buddy Black. And Blanks, who can play first and left field. And with the news about Carlos Quinton needing surgery on Monday, apparently, the operation, and will be lost for at least 4 weeks. Blanks becomes a more important character in this start of the 2012 season. Powerful big man at 6'6" and 270. Gentle giant. Two-strike pitch to Butler. Suppan, to show you the love for the game and not willing to give it up, hang up the spikes, pitched all last year for Kansas City's minor league team in Omaha. Never called up by the big club. High fly ball, wind driven to right field. Boy, that was like a duckaball for Venable. 2 gone. Tomorrow, NASCAR heads to California, where defending champion Kevin Harvick and Daytona 500 winner Matt Kenseth will lead the world's best drivers back to the West Coast to chase the checkered flag. Fox Sports proud to bring you exclusive coverage of the Auto Club 400 presented by 5 Hour Energy, live from the Auto Club Speedway tomorrow at 11:30 Pacific. Here's a look at that sinker of Suppan. Earned over $50 million in his career and still hungry to play. Pretty well evidenced by the fact he would pitch in the minor leagues all of last year.
That tells you something,
just to keep it going.
What kind of a guy he is, what type of character he has. And what a great addition to the ball club to help the younger guys coming up to have a guy like Suppan in the minor leagues.
There's the 2-0 strike.
He doesn't throw hard. He's going to be mid-80s, 86, maybe 87.
But he has a lot of moxie. Foul back, and that went into our press level and kicks off the back wall and back out for a souvenir. Crowd with sweaters and jackets tonight. It's been just about 80 degrees and clear every day for a month. Ripped to first and by Blanks into right field. Venable cuts it off near the line and holds Francoeur to a long single. Now he's 2 for 3 tonight. first Royal with a pair of base knocks.
Stays inside that baseball, rocketing it the other way. Ball was elevated as well.
2-out single for Francoeur brings up Moustakis, who has struck out both times facing Korolupki. Off speed on the outside corner.
Moustakis, notoriously a slow starter at every level of his professional career, A-ball, AA, AAA, even the big leagues. So I think a big key for this Royal club is to for Moustakis to get off to a fast start. Try to convince himself that April is June or July, right?
Isn't that something how some players, though, just every year it's the same pattern. They try things to change that. Fouled into the glove of catcher Davis. How about Dan Uggla last year? Remember, first couple of months, he looked like he didn't belong in the major leagues, and then he just ripped things apart the next 4 with the Atlanta Braves. 2 outs, 2 strikes on Moustakis.
You see that the way Suppan throws, he's going to have to rely on location and changing speeds, movement. He is not going to blow the ball by these hitters.
Real estate, huh? Location, location, location. But with 20 years of pro experience, the man's a pitcher, not a thrower. It's Moustakis to go after a pitch out of the strike zone.
And with a guy like Suppan, you'll probably get a lot of foul balls as well. Why? Because he's around the plate. He's not overpowering. So he's not going to chalk up the strikeouts. So he's going to have the hitters hit his pitch and hopefully keep it on the ground.
So there on the crawl on your screen that Josh Burns, the general manager, will join us in the 7th inning. So stay tuned. At the latest from the GM as Moustakis down for the 3rd time tonight on strikes. Suppan works a good 6th inning. Padres lead by 3 in Peoria. Out on the grass burn on the outfield. Sunny days that you can hardly find a spot of green, a popular spot here in Peoria. Well, let's check in again with the Padre fans watching back in San Diego. Andy Heilbrunn.
Thanks Fantastic. Well, we've moved from the Fox Sports Grill to the East Village. We're at the Fleetwood, where there are plenty of Padres fans watching the game. And hey, I have found 2 Padres fans that are also leprechauns. When does that ever happen, guys? All right, do you think that the Padres need a little bit of your luck tonight?
No, they got this. They don't need any luck.
They got this. Well, these aren't the only fans here tonight. We've got plenty more fans. They're very excited to be watching the game. Guys, back to you.
Pretty good ratio right there, huh?
Yeah.
For that guy.
Yeah, that guy stealing your moves. I've seen that. Is that the funky chicken? What do you call that? In Ireland, I think.
Yeah. Well, we hope everybody's having a good time watching Padre baseball on Fox Sports San Diego.
Then Mazzaro comes in to pitch here in the bottom of the 6th inning and faces Jonathan Galvez. He put the capper on the Padres' 5-run first inning. If you weren't with us, the Padres a 3-run double from Alonso, and Galvez hit one a mile for a 2-run home run to give the Padres 5 and a 5-run 5-hit first inning off starter Bruce Chen. He goes down swinging for the 2nd time. Let's go back to that first inning with the bases full. Here's Alonso, rips one off the bullpen fence halfway up, and that knocks in all 3. And then Galvez came up with a man on Alonso, and this one clears all the grass. That ball is close to 475 feet in the air. Wind 80 perhaps, although at the time the wind was blowing more out toward right field than left.
That may have been a home run even if the wind was blowing in. That ball was struck so hard.
So the Padres scored 5, but nothing since in a 5-2 ball game here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Padres off to a slow start this spring. We're 0-4, but they've gone 7-4 since. Here's Perino. And he drills one to left field. That's his 2nd hit. 2 for 3 for the shortstop Andy Perino.
I like Andy Perino. He's a little spark plug. He can hit a little bit. He's got some speed. He's got a decent arm. He made some nice plays defensively last year when he was up with the big league club.
Switch hitter, a single hitting right-handed against Chen, and now a base hit left-handed off the slants of Mazzaro. Kyle Blanks with his first at bat.
I would love to see Kyle Blanks get a fastball. With Mazzaro's going to try to get ahead and have Kyle Blanks just come out of his shoes and put a jolt in the one. Even if he swings and misses, even if he swings and fouls it back, it puts it in the mind of the pitcher. Oh,
that was it, right?
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, why not just come out of your shoes and spin on that fastball first pitch?
How about a high drive to center field to see how far it might go to clear?
Knock down
40 feet of backdrop at 410 feet. Gordon almost did it tonight in the dirt 1-1. Hit the very top of that wall, and as we mentioned, it was Blanks. See on the left side, the television portal. Blanks hit one in there earlier in spring training for a home run. That's the only way you get a home run into that center field wall. Checks a swing on the slider.
Tell you what, if you hit a ball inside that camera portal out there off the wall, you should get like a 50% off coupon at one of the restaurants here in Peoria like for the early bird special or something.
Right, like the jackpot, all that ding 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 ding.
First
ding,
in line at the buffet before all the locals hit it.
2-1. The action pitch to Blanks. Chop to third, foul. And a quiet spring in terms of publicity. So many young players and being heralded in their future, and it certainly is bright in that regard. And with all the acquisitions by Josh Burns, Blanks has kind of been in the shadows here in terms of much conversation. But this could be his make year. And we'll get a chance, probably a better chance now with Carlos Quentin's surgery scheduled for Monday. One out and Perino at first. And the last of the 6th, one out. Padres leading by 3. outside 3-2. Quentin, who had a little knee problems but felt good, and then breaking up a double play, came out of that sore, and they examined and found that there is some loose cartilage in a knee. It's going to require arthroscopic surgery and could last anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks before he can return to duty. Had a terrific spring. Way outside, ball 4 with Perino on the run. So 2 on with 1 out here in the 6th. Mazzaro with his first walk. That brings up the leadoff man, Cameron Maben. Well, you can be at Petco Park opening weekend. We hope you will. Padres and the Dodgers, 4-game series, April 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And on Friday, fans in attendance will receive a 2012 schedule cling presented by Tujin. Tickets for the opening weekend going fast, so don't wait. Be sure to buy early and save at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555. Great way to start the season 4 with the Dodgers. Down low to Cameron Maben, who has a double in 3 trips. Hit taken away by third baseman Moustakas his last time up.
Put a good swing on that ball, and it was a good play all the way around.
Perino at second, blanks at first with 1 out. In the dirt.
Notice from Mazzaro, all of the breaking balls that he has thrown have been balls. I mean, not one for a strike. So, you know, that gets around very quickly. Kyle Blanks did a nice job of laying off some breaking balls. Now Cameron Maben, you know, when he's on deck, he's watching what is being thrown. So he sees a little wrinkle, and he lays off it for a ball, and the count now in his favor, 2-0.
Check this Royals defense now. It appears that Ned Yost has made wholesale changes, almost a whole new team. See Max Ramirez behind the plate now. Low, and Maben has the count in his favor, 3-0. You let him swing here?
Why not?
Two on, 1 out. Maben with his new contract that seals his presence as a Padre for 6 more years. It's over but low, and the bases are loaded. Back-to-back walks by Vin Mazzaro. That brings
pitching coach Dave Ireland out to the mound. Dave Island, rather. I said Ireland.
Why not?
No, there is an Ireland that pitched a long time ago.
Now, why would you ever even have Ireland in your mind on a night like this?
That's why I had it on my mind. You're exactly right. But Dave Island, no man is an Island except Dave.
You mean St. Patrick's Day didn't bring Ireland to your mind?
In fact, I think Ireland, the pitcher, was a Padre at one time in his career.
Base is full for Will Venable. He singled and scored, grounded to short, and struck out tonight.
And checking, he was not.
Nobody's perfect. Single by Perino and walks to Blanks, and Maben loading him up. Venable takes a strike. Next Friday night, back with you here on Fox Sports San Diego. Padres entertain the Cincinnati Reds. Slap foul back to home plate. General Manager Josh Burns going to join us here in our broadcast booth and give us his assessment of a month of spring training and what might be ahead. Up high, 1-2. Padres need to take advantage of this situation. Bases loaded, 1 out. 5 runs in the first inning, but only a 3-run lead here at 5-2. Chance for Venable to pick up some runs. Good eye. That's 1 one of the primary focuses of Venable this year. Cut down on the strikeouts. Right.
And he's trying to elevate something with one out, elevate something to the outfield. And what is the pitcher Mazzaro trying to do? He counters with the slider, trying to have Venable beat the ball into the ground and possibly induce a double play ball.
Over, but that looked pretty good, didn't it?
Good fastball. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a pitcher's pitch. Good downward plane. Might be a little low. Tough to lay off.
So a full count with the bases loaded. Gonna throw a strike or throw the Padres a run. Vin Mazzaro. Flips that one foul. Gets another chance. Joel Ivey, basketball player from Princeton University. Will Venable. Broken bat ground ball to first. The throw comes to the plate for the force, and they get a sliding Andy Perino. Broken bat fielder's choice. Bases remain loaded for Chase Headley.
Ball hit on the ground. There's one thing in mind: how hard that ball is hit, and if you get that baseball where you're throwing. It's a force play. Robinson just has to throw a strike. It's a good job firing a strike on the inside part of home plate in fair territory. Obviously, spring training, nobody's going to be trying to take it out of second baseman or catcher. Just a nice clean slide into home plate by Andy Perino.
So Blanks at third, Maben at second, Venable at first for Headley. Whoa, that one gets away, and no advance by the Padres as Rodriguez able to hustle after it. Ramirez and especially the pitcher Mazzaro happy that Blanks at 270 didn't come storming down the line. He can run for a big man, as we all well know. Headley, a couple of RBIs this spring, has one home run. Had limited duty. Fouls this one out of play. He was a little ouchy the first couple of weeks, so hasn't seen a lot of game action.
There's a happy fan going home with a big league ball.
I mean, you think of all the pleasures of life. Does anything?
There's nothing, really.
Like a baseball. Ball and a strike. .92-mile-an-hour fastball, and Headley in the hole 1-2.
Dick, you know I'm a guy who likes to correct my mistakes, right? Because I want to get it right.
Of course, we all do.
Tim Ireland was a first baseman.
For Dublin or
the Shamrocks.
High pop up, left center field. Wynn takes it out to left fielder, and that's it. Josh Burns will join us. Top of the 7th inning with the Padres still in front, 5-2. And welcome back. Top of the 7th inning. Dick Enberg with Mark Grant. And joining us now in our broadcast booth here at the Peoria Complex, Josh Burns. Came out of the gate working hard. Man, you're the trade master. It didn't take you long to get on the phone to make some deals.
Yeah, it was a busy offseason. You know, you never know if deals are going to come together. But for the most part, we hit the targets we were shooting for. And so far this spring, the guys have looked good.
Pitching was a consideration immediately because you took your best pitcher, in essence, Matt Latos, and sent him to Cincinnati for four talented players. And now you got to fill that void. Sure. Yeah, our pitching is starting to line up pretty well this spring. I mean, for one, they're healthy, even with some of the injuries we've had on the position player side. But Edinson Volquez has been really good, what we hoped for. Andrew Castro's been very good. Some of the young guys have thrown well. Houston Streets looked very good. Corey Lupke, as we saw tonight, continues to get better and better.
Josh, the thing that I look at is of the youngsters that you've acquired, there's a lot of them that aren't that far away from producing at the big league level.
Yeah, I think most notably this spring, Joe Whelan and Casey Kelly have really, you know, it's great to be a prospect, but they're starting to get the attention of Buddy and the coaches. So, you know, that they know that if we need them, they can trust them. They've come up, they've thrown strikes, they've got good stuff. So that's what we were hoping for. There's the 4 players acquired by the Padres in the Latos deal. We've seen Alonso's work tonight, knocking in 3 with that bases loaded double plus a single. You got a switch hitting catcher in Grandal, and watching him take batting practice, he makes some loud noises in that cage. That ball bounces off the shortstop. And for the Padres now with wholesale changes, that's Valdez, who's moved from second to short. Yeah, Grandal's been impressive. You know, this is only his second professional season. You know, as a first-round pick, they moved him quickly last year. He'll go to AAA for us this year, but a switch hitter with power. He's thrown out a couple runners this spring and looked very good. So, you know, with Alonso, Volquez has been 95, 96, good breaking ball, very good changeup, and Brad Boxberger has also thrown well. We might see Boxberger tonight. Right. So a leadoff error and then a base hit, and the Royals have something cooking against Suppan here in the top of the 7th inning.
How tough was it for that deal, the Matt Latos deal? I mean, quite frankly, I'm surprised there wasn't a knock at your door and it was the sheriff's department saying, Josh Burns, you're under arrest, because this was quite a steal. Well, you know, nothing against Matt Latos. Yeah, he's a darn good pitcher. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I mean, both teams got what they want, and Walt Jocketty is certainly one of the best GMs in baseball. With Joey Votto with 2 years left, and where their team is, they wanted to go for it and get a guy who can pitch at the front of the rotation. But it really connects to a few things. One, we got the 4 players we like. 2, we feel like Corey Lupke is progressing to that type of pitcher. We feel like guys like Kelly and Whelan will soon be part of the rotation. So as much as we all want starting pitching, it's also kind of an area of strength for us. Did the Reds inquire about Corey Lupke as well?
You know, a couple teams have asked over the last few months, and he hasn't really burst on the national scene. I think we get to watch him all the time. We know how good he is and that he does continue to get better. But we've basically said we're going to hold on to Corey Lupke.
This is Tony Abreu with 2 men on, no one out here. Top of the 7th inning against Jeff Suppan. Well, I've been very excited myself in watching the kids over in the minor league camp, and some of those that have played day to day as Buddy Black brings them on the trip. The 4 Dominican products, all 20 to 22, they all look like they're going to be tough to keep away from the big leagues.
Yeah, it was.
Alonso, or rather Blanks, gets the force at second as the runner advances second to third. That's Giavatella, first and third. Well, here's Kelly at 22. He's pitched very well with the big club. Edinson Rincon, he's 21. All he's done this year is 7 for 10, so you sent him down to the minor league camp.
That's right. We were upset about those 3 outs. He's been great. Reimer Liriano, you know, when I was appointed, a lot of people said, who's your best prospect? And the good thing is we probably have a few guys to choose from. But I do think Liriano has our highest ceiling. We got to see some of that this spring. A big, strong guy who can really run and has an idea with the bat in his hand.
In fact, he runs so well. He scored from second base in a game about a week ago. I thought it was Bo Jackson coming around third like a freight train. And look at him outrun this ball in right field in a spring training game. He just outsprints it and makes a brilliant catch and made another in that very same game. I mean, this is a man 210 pounds that stole 66 bases last year.
Yeah, he's even up to 230. He's a strong man, and it's funny, you don't hear the name Bo Jackson very often, because who would be compared to Bo Jackson in our game? But he is he's a big, strong guy who can really run. So he's an exciting player. We can't wait to get him through the minors and get him up to San Diego.
You got Valdez and Galvez, 2 other Dominicans, and Rincon and Liriano. So that academy down in the Dominican starting to pay dividends.
No doubt. And Jose De Paula, left-handed pitcher. So Randy Smith and his staff have done a great job signing these guys, developing them. We've got more good guys coming, and with where our farm system is, I think all facets have been productive. Draft, Latin America, trades, and developing these guys and making sure we get the most out of them.
Randy Smith, you brought up the name. He said in 28 years in the organization, he's never seen so many good pitching arms as there are now. There's a little looper into center field, and that's going to fall for a base hit as Derek Robinson drives in the 3rd run for the Royals. It's 5-3.
I was amazed this offseason, Josh, when I looked online. I encourage, if you're a Padre fan, to look online. When you look at the top 20 prospects for the Padres, it goes back to what I said earlier. A lot of these guys are not far away. I mean, my goodness. Decker, Rincon, Portillo, James Darnell. In fact, last year's draft, you talked about Spangenberg. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty well stocked all the way through. And the AA team won 100 games last year. So these guys are used to winning. And obviously, having finished a year at AA, they're getting close. So and the other good thing is, we're not really rushing any of these guys. A guy like Jed Jerko is now at 3rd base. I mean, he had a great year, high A, AA, led the Arizona Fall League in hitting. But he's got to wait his turn. So we want to be patient, make sure they're as ready as they can be, and their time will come.
This is Mitch Meyer, another #1 pick by the Royals. As we've mentioned, they have 4 or 5 here in the ball game tonight. And here's the youngest 40-man roster in all of baseball, the Royals, and they certainly are coming fast with their kids.
Yeah, they're doing it right. They've got a lot of good young players. This time last year, they were the team that was talked about, and it appears their offense is starting to lock in, and they're working on getting some of their pitchers through the system, and that's what it takes. You need a lot of good players, and obviously they're starting to get some of these guys in the big leagues.
I like to talk about the young arms in the organization, and here's my guy who I think is really going to pay dividends at the big league level. Kevius Sampson. I love this kid. Elaborate on him, if you would.
He's a good one. He doesn't get talked about much, I think, mostly because we have so many. But he had a great year in Fort Wayne last year. He's low to mid-90s, very good changeup. We need to work on the breaking ball, but throws a lot of strikes. Had a great year. Again, I'm glad you brought him up, because as good as he is, he kind of sort of gets lost with all the volume we have. But he's a very, very good prospect and a true starting pitcher prospect.
So would it be fair to say that the San Diego Padres are the Costco of a lot of inventory, a lot of stuff to a lot of stuff in stock?
It is. I mean, from the here and now, we have an injury. We lose a guy like Carlos Quentin. We have guys like Kyle Blanks and James Darnell ready to step in, and you need more than 25 players to get through a season.
So, Josh, now that we're in the middle of spring training and each team is kind of settling into what will be their final 25, will we see any trades, any moves of interest in the next 2-3 weeks?
I don't think so. We're starting to talk to some other clubs, but my sense is whatever is going to happen, we're going to solve it internally. I mean, anything's subject to change. I mean, a guy like Dale Thayer is coming to this camp, and as a veteran, a guy who spent a lot of time in AAA and some in the big leagues, and he's making a real bid to make our club. So we feel like we've got our solutions here internally, and we'll sort it out and get to 25 by the end.
Run in, 2 on. And a ground ball sharply and just foul off the bat of Mitch Meyer. As they announce the attendance tonight on a breezy evening. So far no rain, 6,116 here in Peoria. So what will occupy your time now as we move toward opening day in 3 weeks?
Well, it is whittling down to 25. That's the main thing. And obviously, Buddy and I meet with the guys, so it's a time when they get sort of a state of the union on their own careers. And those are important meetings. And this afternoon I was able to see the minor league games. So it's a great time of year. We have a lot of scouts around. We have our player development people. But, the focus is really getting us down to 25 and making sure we're ready to go.
And it's a tough time also for you and Buddy. And ground ball to second could be, well, they're going to play the easy out at first base with a runner going. And 2 away, runners at second and third. Tying run in scoring position for the Royals here, 5-3, top of the 7th inning. A very popular guy you called up last year, Josh Spence, the left-hander. You know, it's not, these kids want to stay up here with the big club, and it was an emotional time for Josh yesterday when he learned he'd been reassigned.
It was, you know, it's some of the rules. Sometimes the guys on the 40-man roster get sent out a little bit earlier. A lot of the guys on the field right now are not yet on our 40-man, and
ooh, a high, deep drive to right field, but that one's in foul territory and well back home run distance.
If you feel like a guy's not going to make the team, you don't want to risk an injury, then he has to go on the DL, or if it's a starting pitcher, you want to get him stretched out. So sometimes, you know, Blake Ducote had a good camp, but he was sent out. So sometimes being on the 40 means you go out a little bit earlier. But my sense is, yeah, we'll see Mr. Spence again, but right now it didn't appear that he was going to make our club out of spring training.
Terry Kennedy has got a lot of smiles this year. He said at Tucson he's going to have a good team.
He is. I think on both sides, both with position players and the pitchers, and a young team, which is fun to have at AAA.
Chopped to first, blanks, foul ball. This is Clint Robinson now playing at first base for the Royals. Second and third for Kansas City, and 2 outs against Jeff Suppan, trying to get out of the 7th inning. The Royals threatening to tie it. Pretty good numbers for Robinson last year at Omaha. They won the Pacific Coast League. And one of their team and one of his teammates, the man on the mound, Jeff Suppan. Anything you don't like about this spring training? Or you like all the rest of us?
I don't like injuries. Those, no, you know, as much as you plan for them, they're never easy when they happen. But it's been a great camp.
Weak swing and a miss as Suppan pulls the string on Robinson, and it's a 1-run inning for Kansas City, 5-3. And General Manager Josh Burns, many thanks for coming by. Look forward to this 2012 season.
Thanks for having me, Dick.
Okay. Thanks. YMCA 7th inning stretch here in Peoria with the Padres leading Kansas City 5-3. That run against Suppan in the top half of the inning was unearned. As we open this bottom of the 7th inning, it's Jeff Decker, who lives just 3 street lights from the ballpark. He's went to high school here in Peoria. He's had a terrific spring. He's only 5'9", but he can hit with power. Has more extra base hits, more RBIs than any Padre this spring. And an observer now, as he's done his work for the night down in the dugout, is Cameron Maben. He's going to join us here in the last of the 7th inning. Very serious pose tonight, Cameron.
What's that?
You're serious.
Oh man, I'm trying to get to the room so I can get some sleep. Man.
How windy was it out there tonight, Cameron?
Man, it was blowing pretty good, man. It was your typical San Fran night out there.
That ball that Gordon hit to center field, didn't think it'd ever come down.
Man, I tell you what, man, I thought I was getting behind it, man. That thing got in that jet stream and it took off, didn't it?
Ooh, Ramirez doing a good job of handling that tough pop-up behind home plate for the first out. So what are your goals this year, center fielder? I mean, the good news is you've got that nice contract in the back pocket. You can relax. You know you're the center fielder of the Padres for a long time, and we're all pleased about that. What are your goals?
Oh, man, really just to come in here and continue to lead it by example as I did last year. I really like the way the intensity is right now this spring. Love the way we're playing, and just try to lead these guys and create a little bit more emotion and have a winning season this year, really.
And you know how important it is, Cameron, because coming up as a youngster, you look to veteran guys to kind of lead your way. So you have learned how to maybe light a fire under somebody.
Yeah, I think one thing you definitely get from me is a lot of emotion. I'm a guy who definitely cares, and I get a little salty at times, a little upset at times. But like I said, it's all because the biggest goal is winning, and when we don't bring that intensity, it definitely gets under my skin. So talking to Nick Hundley and some other guys have been around. That's the thing we're trying to. Really display this year is, intensity and emotion. And, I think it's paying off so far.
Brad Davis, the hitter, and he fouls us back out of play. Is Dad Rudy still around?
Nah, he got out of here. He was in town for a couple weeks for the signing. And, he just wanted to come down and, watch me get the deal done. And he's waiting to open the day to see you guys.
All right. Well, I know you want to get out to those bowling lanes. Try to get in a few frames tonight, huh?
Hey, Monday I'm going, you guys.
It's bowling night?
But no, it's an off day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hit the lanes up Monday night. So.
We want a full report.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'll be around the 170, 180 mark.
Have you ever picked up a 7-10 split?
No, I haven't. Not yet, Mud. Can you teach me that one?
Absolutely. Ever rolled the 300?
No, 218 is my best game so far.
Nice.
So I'm working on it, man.
All right.
Now, that's a game where strikes aren't a bad thing.
Show me that 7-10 split, Mud, whenever you get a chance.
I will. We'll have to go out sometime. I would love to go out to the lanes. I'm from the Midwest. I love the great game of bowling.
Oh yeah. I got a little game for you, man. I think you might be surprised.
All right, we'll do it.
Thanks, Cameron.
You got it, guys.
All right. See you soon.
Thank you.
What a refreshing young man.
He's a great guy. I mean, every father would like to have a kid like Maiden. And his story has just been fantastic. He was the bat boy with the Asheville Tourists minor league team on that beautiful part of North Carolina, the western part. And you know who else was bat boy of that team? Cal Ripken.
Really?
Cal Ripken played against his dad in Little League. Davis fouls that one away. One out here in the 7th, 5-3 Padres. All the reserves getting a chance, as is often the case in spring training after about the 6th inning. Here's the regulars 3 at-bats if you can, and the young guys, a lot of pressure on them. Each of these at-bats a chance to make an impression. Davis hits it high and short, and out goes the second baseman to make the catch. Giavotella with the play.
That is a tough play, because the outfielders are playing on the deep side. You've got that wind blowing out. Giavotella stays with it nicely, and at the last second puts that glove up in the air to stab at it, run at it, and then stab at it. And communication right there, so no collision with the center fielder.
So Jeff Suppan is going to hit for himself here. So he's going to pitch another inning. Base is empty with 2 away. Mazzaro in his second inning of work after wildness in the last. Couple of walks, pitched out of a bases loaded 1-out situation. Suppan loops one into right, and it's gloved by the right fielder, David Lowe. Suppan's bid for a base hit denied. Mazzaro enjoyed watching this catch, and the Padres are going in order in the 7th. Taste of the sharp pitching of starter Corey Lupke, and Houston Street an inning with a couple of strikeouts, and the first inning power 3-run double by Alonso and a 2-run homer by young Jonathan Valdez, as the Padres have a 5-3 lead into the top of the 8th inning. Jeff Suppan into his 3rd inning of pitching, allowing 1 unearned run and 3 hits. Faces Chris Getz. There's the story. Fox Sports San Diego. If you love Padre baseball, you're going to get a full plate this 2012 season. Oh my. Every game, plus all the other special features. Foul tip by Getz. Stays alive at 2 strikes.
New home for the Padres looks really, really nice. Like you mentioned, Dick, all games, hour pre and post. And that even means on the East Coast, 105 starts. Hey, play a little hooky from work and watch 10:05 start, right?
Line pass blanks and gets on his way for a double. Might be a play at second. Strong throw. And it's not quite in time. As Valdez slapped the tag on, and just in on time was Getz with a leadoff double. That brings up David Lowe. Solid throw, right fielder James Darnell. So Darnell, infielder, 3rd baseman. They're working him out at shortstop as well, and in the outfield.
Tell you what, if that throw is on the inside part of that bag, it might be a different story.
Wait a minute, that's not Darnell, that's Hermida in right field. We were told he was in left field. So veteran Jeremy Hermida with a throw. Give credit to the right arm of the veteran. Spelled L-O-U-G-H. The Omaha PCL champs last year with solid numbers. Good cut there.
And of course, it's only logical that Omaha's in the Pacific Coast League, right?
In today's world, yes.
That's just like when the Atlanta Braves were in the National League West all those years. Gosh, I'll tell you what, a lot of kids failed geometry. Where is Atlanta? Oh, it's in the West.
How about some of the new football conferences?
I meant geography. Did I say geography or geometry? Geography? I failed both classes, so it doesn't matter.
It's a nice thing when you fail, you know.
There's only one way to go. Yeah. That's up.
Strikeout of Lowe, so there's one gone here in the 8th. You didn't fail. You were a good student, right?
Decent.
In a tough school there in that Chicago area. Catholic school?
Absolutely.
Taught by nuns?
No. Carmelites.
The hitter is Irving Falou, third baseman now, replacing Moustakas. That's what you have when you consumed all the geometry you want. You're Falou, right? You're Falou of the geometry. Inside. And the count goes 2-0.
Have to see how Suppan goes after these Royal hitters here in the 8th. Remember, he's going to throw a lot of slop up there, and that's nothing against Jeff Suppan because he has taught himself how to pitch through the years. A lot of breaking stuff, sinkers, down and out of the zone, like that there. And this is, he wanted to go down and away, but he gets the call down and in.
Good action. 2 balls and a strike. Runner at second, 1 out. Falou chops that one foul.
Change up from Suppan.
Well, weather permitting, the Padres have a game scheduled tomorrow and then an off day on Monday. But the weather report is not good for tomorrow here in the Valley of the Sun. So far, so good tonight. No rain.
As I mentioned earlier, Suppan will get a lot of foul balls as we take a look at the wind still whipping up here in Peoria. Looks like it's shifted now. It's blowing out towards left. Or is that straight out? Looks like towards left. That's straight out to left.
Toward left. And of course the weather would be coming in from the west when earlier in the evening with the wind blowing to right. The Arizona weather is quite the reverse of so many situations. They get their rain, the majority of their rain in the summer comes out of the Gulf. Tucson gets those monsoons. They haven't had a single drop of rain this calendar year. So if it does rain tomorrow, that'll be a new experience for 2012. How did that not hit Falou? Full count. Davis out to talk to his veteran pitcher.
I don't know whether Davis was crossed up. There is a runner on second base. But Davis did a fine job of smothering that baseball at home plate.
Ball 4, and it skips away from Davis almost into the lap of Bud Black, who in spring training sits outside the dugout. So a wild pitch moves. The runner gets to third. Falou aboard on the walk. The tying run now at first base with 1 out. Falou. And the batter is Johnny Giovatello for the first time. And Perino in to talk to the veteran pitcher. Infield playing back, looking for a double play to bail Suppan out of this 8th inning. Conceding the run for a chance at 2.
You can really hear that wind whipping up on those field mics as well. Davis giving some signs out in front of home plate. If Falou at first base chooses to take off, what they will do with the baseball, maybe hold it, fake throw, maybe throw down to third.
There he goes. And that's exactly right. And the runner at third was wise, and the tying run is in scoring position.
Something that is worked on day in and day out. Bunt plays, pitchers covering first base and first and third situations.
Well, the Padres led the majors in stolen bases last year, but Kansas City was the leader in the American League. Second and third went out as the Royals threatened to tie it up here in the 8th inning. It's 5-3 San Diego.
Nice little breaking ball from Suppan, down and away. The crafty right-hander trying to make the ball club. And he dots that slider down and away to make it 2-1.
Gianvatella played his college ball at the University of New Orleans. Well over a 300 hitter in the minor leagues. Grounds this one to short. That'll get a run home. And out made at first base, and it's a 5-4 ball game. We have the tying run moving over to third. Credit Gianvatella with an RBI. That'll bring up Max Ramirez, the catcher. Ramirez, one of those called up from the minor league camp with a double injuries to the first and second string catchers, Salvador Perez. And I mean, he is such a prospect. He's going to be lost for 3 months with his knee surgery. Warming up a pitcher in the bullpen, and look at that shot. Ramirez up the middle ties the game with a solid single to center. So 2 more for the Royals off Suppan here in the 8th inning to tie the game at 5.
But when you're a hitter and you're facing a pitcher like Jeff Suppan, you really have to stay back and let the ball travel. You don't know which way that ball's going to break. He's not overpowering, and he stayed on that ball nicely, rifling it right up the center of the diamond. Looks like Bud Black is going to make a pitching change here.
So that's it for Suppan. So the Padres scored 5 in the first inning, and that lead finally melts away, erodes in the 8th inning. It's 5-all as a pitching change made by Bud Black.
With a group. Groups as small as 20 people can enjoy big savings, special seating, a scoreboard welcome, and much more. Petco Park also offers several exclusive group facilities to fit your group's needs. Reserve your group tickets or a private suite today by calling 619-795-5555.
Well done, partner. 2 outs, 2 runs in for the Royals here in the 8th inning. It's 5-all. Tony Abreu with Pena at first base with that game-tying single. Abreu, second at bat, safe on a fielder's choice his first time up. Takes a strike from Brad Boxberger, the new pitcher for the Padres. Boxberger, part of that 4-man deal with the Reds. He can get it up to 95 miles an hour.
This guy in the future could be a closer.
High fly ball, Abreu into right center field. A long run at it. Wynn carrying it almost to the wall, and the catch is finally made by Decker in center field. But the Royals get 2 on a pair of hits and a walk. And after 7.5, thanks to Decker's catch, it's tied at 5. At 5, bottom of the 8th inning, and after the game, stay tuned. Padres Live, brought to you by Cox. We'll have a complete wrap-up of this game, live interviews, and we'll continue to forecast what's ahead for these 2012 Padres. Padres Live after the game on Fox Sports San Diego. The Padres with a 5-run first inning explosion, a 3-run double by Alonso, and a 2-run home run by Galvez. And the Royals pecking away, and that lead now eroded. It's a 5-all game at the bottom of the 8th inning. It's up to the reserves for Bud Black, and Jeremy Hermida will lead it off in the 8th inning against new pitcher Blake Wood. Wood 6'5" and 238-pounder, 6th-round pick out of Georgia Tech. Just up briefly with the Padres final month, rips it to left, and the third baseman picks it off. Good play at third by young Irving Falou. Quick hands.
Positioned perfectly. Why? Because Wood, the pitcher, hits his spot down and away. Throws hard. Hermida went that way, and it found the glove of Falou. Nearly Falou into left field.
That's right. Unfortunately, it did not. Here's Perino, who's probably had more at-bats than any Padre this spring, coming into this time up 33 times at the plate with 8 hits. Couple tonight, 2 for 3. Kyle Blanks to follow. That old expression of a pitcher describing on radio, he rocks back and fires. That's how he's gonna rocks back, doesn't he?
I love that. He's got a big frame. He utilizes his whole body.
High chopper kicks foul between Dave Roberts, the first base coach, and the Royals first baseman Robinson.
That's a sweet lid right there. I love the plaid. There's a nice fedora she's got going there. How you doing?
One hopper into the plate. Wood appeared in 55 games for the Royals last year. Won 5 and lost 3. Had a save.
Was one of 12 players for the Royals who made their major league debut in 2011.
And that went in the dirt, and Perino's aboard for the 3rd time tonight. Trying to break this 5-all tie in the home half of the 8th inning. Here's Kyle Blanks. Only at bat he walked. Back in the 6th inning. Padres have squandered a lot of chances since the 5-run first inning.
That was Andy Perino's 4th plate appearance tonight. And talking to Bud Black before the game, he said, Andy Perino is one of those guys who's going to try to fight for a bench position because he's so versatile.
Logan Forsythe was in the battle to make the club and required a surgery for sesamoid bone, kind of the ball of your foot. He had the same injury in the other foot when he was at Arkansas, and he'll be out for 3-4 weeks, maybe a little more. So that opened up the fight for that final infield position. So someone that can play more than one spot, play both short or second, or all 3 other positions outside of first base, or maybe an outfield. Everett Cabrera's played some center field here in the spring training. He and Perino probably in that battle for the last spot on the infield, utility player. There goes the runner Perino, and the throw won't be in time. Skids away, but not far enough for Perino to advance to 3rd. That's another thing Perino brings to the club. He's a good base stealer. So tie-breaking run and scoring position here in the 8th.
Decent jump from Andy, and that ball just leaks.
Hit Perino, otherwise he'd be on 3rd base. That would have been in right center field. The Royals a bit fortunate there.
Showing off some speed, as you just mentioned earlier, Dick.
And Blanks with a chance to pick him up, give the Padres the lead 6-5. He walks again. 2 at-bats for Kyle Blanks. That's a big target, big strike zone. Couple of walks. With 2 men aboard with the generosity of pitcher Wood. We go up to the man leading off now in Maben's spot, James Darnell. His first at bat tonight. Maben went 1 for 3 with a walk. Darnell's got some pop in that bat. He's homered this spring. 8 for 28 overall. A couple of doubles and a home run for James.
He throws a heavy baseball, doesn't he, Wood? It doesn't look like he's really a max effort type guy. You got knees and elbows and your body just flying all over the place.
Well, look at that red hair. You don't see it.
Yeah.
He looks dressed for the occasion on St. Patrick's Day, doesn't he?
Nice slider.
1 and 2.
Take a look at that big frame in motion from the stretch position. Big kick shown on the backside, kind of hides the ball well. High 3/4 delivery.
Perino at second, Blanks at first with 1 gone here in the 8th. Off the outside edge, 2 and 2.
Gets a good downward plane as well, trying to peck away at that outside corner.
University of South Carolina Gamecock James Darnell. Way outside, the teammate is Justin Smoke, the first baseman of the Seattle Mariners. Of course, they're training at the same facility. They alternate playing games here at the main stadium, but the 2 complexes mirror one another, each with 7 fields, 14 fields here.
Whoever came up with that concept, they should give them some type of an award, because it's becoming more and more popular these days with clubs sharing facilities, and it makes so much sense.
Full count. Way outside, and the bases are loaded, all on walks. Carino to third, Blanks to second, and now Darnell at first base. I think here, at least in the Cactus League, that the Padres and Mariners initiated that.
I think they were one of the first
partnership,
right.
And now so many have copied it. It makes so much sense, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Cuts down on the travel, although the travel in Arizona is very minimal.
And it means that your main stadium has activity every day.
You're right.
And so Peoria, the city of Peoria, which shares in the receipts here, it gives them a chance with attendance every day to help pay some bills. I'm amazed. These were alfalfa fields about 20 years ago. Now, I swear, within walking distance of this stadium, there are 50 restaurants. Fast food up to the finest restaurants. I asked one of the restaurateurs here, what happens when the baseball season, the spring season is over? What happens with all these restaurants? He said, people don't cook in Peoria. They still come. Well, it's up now to Jed Jerko, and this is one of the many young players that Josh Burns talked about. They're excited about his potential. Third baseman, he has a quick bat. He seems to be able to get the heavy end of the bat on the ball. Let's see if he can come through here. Rips it foul. A little late on that swing, and Wood is ahead on the count, 2 strikes.
You like the swing on that one. He squared that one up. And that young man is going home with a souvenir. Good for him.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Fastball outside. 95 on that heater. And here comes manager Ned Yost.
He's going out with the trainer as well.
Something's wrong with Wood, apparently. It just threw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Now, I don't know whether they motioned or they noticed something, or Wood motioned to the bench saying, hey, I need a little bit of a check out here. I need to talk to somebody and take a little bit of a blow. And Ned Yost is not going to waste any time.
Zach Miner has been warming up in the bullpen, so apparently he'll come in. I hope nothing serious with Wood. It certainly was wild, loaded the bases on walks, but just threw one of his best fastballs. It comes out of the game. So Miner will replace him. We're in the 8th inning, bases loaded, 1 out, tied up at 5. Our new pitcher, Zach Miner, tunes up. Let's go back out to San Diego. Padre fans with Annie Halbrun. Annie.
Thanks, guys. That's right. We've made it to Bub's by the ballpark here in the East Village. And let me tell you, it is packed with Padres fans. They've been watching the game here all night. Tons of excitement, tons of Padres fever down here. Let me ask you, have you been watching the game all night?
Yeah, I have.
All right, who's looked good to you in spring training?
Yonder Alonzo.
Yonder Alonzo doing real well. Awesome. All right, well, are you enjoying yourself?
I am having a good time.
All right, get back to watching the game. I'm going to send it back to you guys in Peoria. We're having a blast here.
All right, thank you, Annie, and certainly a happy St. Patrick's Day for Annie and all her friends.
Absolutely.
Fans able to watch the Padres for the first time in their favorite eatery or sports bar.
Glad to see Will Hunting out there having a cocktail on St. Patrick's Day in San Diego. How do you like them apples?
Zach Miner on the mound for the Royals. Big 6'4", 225-pounder from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. 4th round pick 11 years ago. Another redhead. Bases loaded. He inherits the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jed Jerko as the Padres try to break the 5-5 tie here in the last of the 8th inning.
Now, what do you think Jed Jerko was doing when he was taking his warm-ups? He's watching him like a hawk.
Breaking balls. And Jerko outside, and he spoiled a good pitch.
Absolutely. I mean, Jerko's in the hole 1 and 2. You've got a new pitcher out there. He's got 8 tosses to get warm. So Jerko's watching him like an eagle to see what type of breaking pitches he has. And he just tried to put him away with the breaking ball.
He skips that one in, and a good stop by Ramirez to save a run. It's 2-2.
Hey, that's a catcher set up inside and has to adjust to a fastball 93 down and away in the dirt. That's quite an athletic move by the Kansas City catcher.
Padre at every base here with 1 out in the 8th inning. Two and 2 to Jerko. Breaking ball misses outside, and the pressure now falls on Miner. He has to throw a strike or the Padres take the lead. They're loaded on walks. A generous inning from the Royals pitching. Wood and now Miner. Jerko can look for his pitch. Chops it to short weakly. There's 1. Will he get 2? No, and the run comes home at 6-5 San Diego. Jerko just did leg it out. Wasn't hit hard enough to turn the double play, and the Padres without a hit have taken the lead 6-5.
And did you see the second baseman really didn't have much to get on that throw as Perino comes around to score. Flat-footed throw to first base. Couldn't get anything on it, and Jerko beats it out. Second baseman was actually kind of back on his heels a little bit.
Blanks moves to third, so first and third with 2 outs. Padres back in front 6-5. Giudy Valdez is the hitter for the first time tonight. Valdez, another of those young Dominican stars that have really made an impact on this spring training. Galvez, also young, hit the home run, 2-run homer. Those 4, Liriano, Rincon, Galvez, and Valdez. I did the numbers on them, and they're this spring before the game tonight, the 4, and they're just all babies. 24 for 57. They're hitting .421 collectively. Just babies, but they're male men boys. Ooh, inside corner strike called. 1-2. Look who's warming up. Andrew Kastner. He's been hitting the 100-mile-an-hour mark here in spring training games. Acquired from the Chicago Cubs in the Anthony Rizzo deal. Get a chance to see him in the next inning. That one bounces. The runner takes off, and Jerko moves into second base.
Once again, not a lot of strikes thrown on the breaking ball from Miner. So the hitters recognize that. Not only the hitters in the batter's box, but the hitter on deck, the guys in the dugout. So they see spin on that ball, they see a wrinkle, and they take it.
Galvez 6 for 14, 429 this spring. Good eye, takes it low.
And it was a breaking ball, right?
A full count.
Hey, the old adage in baseball is if you throw it 2-2, why not throw it 3-2? Let's see if Minor tries to throw a wrinkle in one or locate a fastball down and away.
Test the patience of young Galvez. Chance to pick up a couple more runs, insurance runs for the Padres here with a 6-5 lead. Ball 4. What an inning. The 4th walk allowed by Royals pitching. They're loaded again for San Diego. And that'll bring up Jeff Decker, the local product. Decker hitting .357 this spring, most hits, 5 doubles, 2 home runs.
And I know it's been documented, but it's worth mentioning since our first game here on Fox Sports San Diego. But the spelling of his name, J-A-F-F, which is in fact pronounced Jeff. So we just want to make that clear once again because it's been documented in the UT.
And for good reason, J-A-F-F. It's because his uncle intended to have his name spelled J-E-F-F, but on his birth certificate they spelled it incorrectly. His uncle died in the war, and so they named this Decker Jeff J-A-F-F in his honor. And it's 2-0, and the wildness continues for the Royals here in the 8th inning. 4 walks and a ground out have scored a run for the Padres. 2 out, bases loaded, and Decker sitting on a 2-0 pitch with the wind blowing out. And he rips it foul. Decker last year started royally, a lot of home runs and power. He walked over 100 times, and then he went into a little slump second half of the season. And part of the problem, and he admits it, is he has such a good eye. He took a lot of his at-bats into long counts, and he struck out on a lot of 3-2 pitches. And so they're trying to get him to be more aggressive early in the count. 2-1. 3-1. And again, the pressure falls on the pitcher, Minor.
He's got to throw a located fastball here. Minor does. That's what he has to be thinking.
Banks at third. Venables replacement. Jerko at second. Galvez at first. Ready to go on a 3-1 pitch. And a base on balls forces in another run. It's 7-5. Frustration, young pitchers and some not so young, and Ed Yost sees this giveaway by his staff in the 8th inning. 5 walks, and without the 8 of a base hit, the Padres have scored 2. Blanks checks in.
I don't know if that was a fastball or a cut fastball or something, but on the gun it said 88, and he missed big time with the location.
Bases remain loaded for catcher Brad Davis. He popped to second, his only at bat. Up the middle and off the glove with a shortstop. Everyone's safe. Another run scores. It's 8-5. The Padres with a 3-run inning without the 8 of a base hit. Yeah, they may not call this an error, but it should have been fielded.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that's got to be an error.
They call it a hit. Generous scoring.
But more importantly, a run for San Diego.
And Davis with an RBI. This position in the batting order, 5th, has produced 4 RBIs, 3 by Alonso. 9th man to bat in the inning. Matt Clark is the hitter. Matt has hit some home runs this spring. He's got a lot of power. 2-0. Goodness. Clark, 28 homers at San Antonio 2 years ago, and at Tucson last year hit 23. You can see with that body when he unleashes the swing, he has a home run cut.
Yeah, he's listed at 6'5", 215. He is a big kid.
Signed by the Padres in the 12th round 3 years ago. Dad played Major League Ball, a pitcher. Hit long and fouled down the left field line. The wind knocking that down into the first row.
Well, you know you're getting old is when you played against Matt Clark's dad. I remember his dad, Terry. My goodness. You know, I got an AARP card in the mail the other day, and I was ticked.
You won't be so mad when you get, you know, a couple bucks off at the theater. 2-2 on Clark. Bases loaded, 3 runs in. Ninth man at bat in this 8th inning for San Diego. Inside, full count. The man that started it, ball, Andy Perino, would be next, but looks as if Mark Kotze has a bat in the on deck. No, that's not Kotze. It's Hermida. Nevertheless, down goes Clark swinging. And this 8th inning finally comes to an end, but Padres take advantage of the pitching generosity. Kansas City and lead it 8-5. Up by 3 runs as we enter the top of the 9th inning, and a chance to see the new fireballer in the bullpen for San Diego, Andrew Cashner. He of a 100-mile-an-hour fastball came to the club in the trade for Anthony Rizzo with the Cubs.
He's going to be your 8th inning guy. Downward plane, pounding the strike zone, and the one thing that jumps out on the scouting report, much improved command. Darren Balsey says, you know what, it was all about the velocity when we first heard and acquired Andrew Cashner, but when he got to camp, his command has just been lights out. Throws all those pitches, fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup.
This will be his 5th appearance. He's pitched 1 inning in the previous 4, and in those 4 innings hasn't allowed much. 3 hits, has struck out 5. He's got a nice attitude too. And when I say that, you know, there's a little mean streak in Cashner.
You need that. Look at that.
94, so eased up on that first one. Now the question in acquiring Cashner for Rizzo was the health of his arm. He was on the shelf most of last year, but showed during the offseason that the arm had come back. And he buries a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. And it's such an easy delivery.
Free and easy.
2 quick strikes on Derek Robinson to be followed by Mitch Meyer and Clint Robinson here in the top of the 9th inning. Almost chased the breaking ball, and he went around. Strike 3. Third base umpire Barry Larson punches him out. And when you have a fastball of the velocity of Cashner, you got to be ready for that. When he throws that nasty snake up there.
Absolutely.
It's tough to lay off.
And especially if it's down in the zone like that one was, because out of the hand it looks like a fastball. Tough to lay off.
I know a lot of folks who are very high on Rizzo and liked him as a young man and the great promise. 1 hopper. Blanks has it. He'll do the business himself, and there's 2 quick outs here in the top of the 9th inning as Meyer bounces out unassisted, and that brings up Clint Robinson, first baseman. And so Josh Burns, as he has explained it, you get Yonder Alonso, he's going to be your first baseman. You got to say, it's, you know, what do you do with Rizzo? You're going to keep him down the minor leagues. You know, he can't play any other position. You get a chance to get a man that can throw with this kind of velocity and be the setup man for Houston Street. You've got to make the deal. And all good wishes go to Rizzo when he wears that Cubs uniform. I hope he does well.
And Cashner's doing nothing but pounding strikes. Good downward plane. Peas at the knees.
Clint Robinson struck out his other at bat. Bounces this one up the middle. Tough play, and that's a cactus leg single hopping into center field. So a 2-out single keeps it alive for the Royals. But that ball pounding off home plate, the dirt there is so hard, and then the second bounce has enough juice on it to squeeze through the middle of the diamond for a base hit. Brings up Chris Getz, who doubled to lead off the 8th inning when the Royals scored 2 runs against Jeff Suppan to tie the game. 8-5 San Diego. The runner goes. He wasn't held on. Catcher's indifference puts Robinson at second base. One strike the count. Little 2-seamer that sailed outside.
Yeah. He's worked on that as well. We've heard about the 4-seamer out of the hand of Andrew Cashner, but throwing that 2-seamer, you know, in a pinch when you're looking for a grounder, maybe a double play ball. And nothing wrong with a 95 or a 96 mile an hour 2-seamer.
Breaking ball hit high in the air to center, and the wind won't carry this one. Decker's under it, and the ball game is over. The Padres win it 8-5. Combination of a big first inning with 5 and a 3-run double and a 2-run homer, and then an 8th inning that was gifted to the Padres 3 more runs, and it's enough to win it 8-5. So the Padres even their record in the spring 8-8, and they've won 8 of their last 12 games. Padres Live brought to you by Cox is right around the corner, so don't wander away. Mike Pomerantz will tell us what's in store. Michael.
Dick and Mark coming up on the post-game show. Yonder Alonso with a nice night. We're going to talk about that. Couple of hits and that 3-run double in the first, the difference maker. Also talking about developing chemistry between pitchers and catchers. Mark Sweeney going to highlight that. And you're going to hear from Buddy Black. His press conference is coming up. That's all ahead on Padres Live, brought to you by Cox, the post-game show to follow this break.